Oh, you know what I love?
Sports.
Love sports.
Sports.
When it comes to Texas A&M.
Where are you getting this information?
Let me tell you.
Welcome to TexAgs.
It's here. It's time. There's always a buzz in the air when you hit this moment.
He is a guy that has gotten better and better and better. He's just got that dog in him.
We will develop men. We will graduate players, and we will win championships on the field.
I think of him as this hawk. Before long, he's going to be swooping in on those quarterbacks.
And they embody what the school is about. It's about getting into hard situations and getting ourselves out. It's about working hard. It's about doing amazing things.
And this is a real program. It's not fake. This is a real place. And if you want to be really good at football, this is a really good place to be.
You know, if I'm betting on anybody, it's the Aggies.
I hope you're feeling very fresh today on a Wayavera Wednesday.
Yeah, may have to have some corn tonight for dinner.
What'd you think about that last night?
I thought that I was very excited to see that. I thought that that just was the perfect, I don't know if it's the ending, but the perfect addition
to the class.
To what's going on with that pitching staff.
Yeah. So for those who don't know what I'm talking about, Clayton Freshcorn, drafted by the Cardinals late in the MLB draft, was not thinking about going to the big leagues the way I read Bronny's report, and obviously be a premium subscriber. You'll find out all the tidbits behind the scenes. But when the Cardinals called, he thought about it. Then he had a 90-minute conversation, I guess it was yesterday or the day before yesterday, with Barry Enright and Michael Early. And Clayton Freshcorn says, I'm coming back to Texas A&M.
Love to hear that. That was just some great news.
Yeah.
When I saw that, I was elated. And I think A&M baseball fans are too. Because for my money, he was the best pitcher on the staff in his role. Now, the Sims kid pitched really well.
Yeah.
But for my money, Clayton Freshcorn, in that last game when they started him, and he pitched really well. He gave him an opportunity to win. Unfortunately, the batting order let you down, but Freshcorn did his job.
A start to maybe a new role with Texas A&M, because I've heard Bronny talk about it, that he might be a starter for you next year, or that's the plan. Because I think also if you add a starting pitcher to his resume, it does enhance his value at the next level, which means next year, if he goes into the draft, or when he goes into the draft, he could be picked even higher.
Well, I really liked him as a reliever, but I understand the thinking of a guy like that, you want to have him in there for as many innings as possible.
Yeah.
He gets people out.
So we pretty much know 2/3 of the rotation next year, pretty much.
Do we?
I mean, today you can guess it'll be Clayton Freshcorn and Nathan Sims, and then there's a bunch of new guys that you'll figure out that third spot. As of today, I'm sure Bronny and Rich are thinking right now, these guys don't know what's up. But that's the tea leaves.
I would just wonder who's going to be, who'll emerge then as the closer, because as we've seen, that's such an important role.
Yeah. Could we see Gavin Lyons step into that role? Will he be considered in a different capacity? At the end of the day, in a little while, we're going to talk about the state of college athletics. There's a soundbite from Paul Feinbaum that made the rounds yesterday. I'm going to have you listen to it. But, the good thing about the current era, there's some good things, there's some bad things. We can agree with that, right?
Yes.
The good thing is, I think a guy like Clayton Freshcorn can come back to college, is not forfeiting money, right? Like, he is still going to be financially compensated nicely, we think, and can work on his skills to make himself much more attractive. It makes the college baseball product that much better.
I agree with all that. Now, I do believe, and I know you do too, that once you enter the draft and sign something, then, your eligibility should be over. But if you enter the draft, if you don't sign with anybody, you're still, quote, I hate to use the word amateur, but you still should be eligible.
Yeah. Do you wish they would do that? I mean, they kind of are doing it in other places, but if the NFL had that same philosophy and the NBA, which kind of has it because we've got the G Leaguers and whatnot, but do you wish?
I don't have a hard, fast opinion on whether the NFL should do it. I understand why the NFL would not want that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so much more of a team game. You have so many more players that you can be great individually in baseball. Great pitcher. You might be on a bad team, but you can be a great pitcher. I think of Nolan Ryan with the Astros one year. I think he had a below 3 ERA and whatever, and had like a 5-16 record. But in football, there's just like one great player. I guess they can still do some things, but he doesn't influence the success of a team as much.
Sure.
And so they only have 7 draft picks, unlike baseball.
20.
So I don't know but is it up to the NFL to sign off on it?
No. But and I'm more saying if you are a player between the 4th and 7th round, where you're not even guaranteed, or maybe 5th and 7th round, you're not even guaranteed an NFL contract, right? You can get cut immediately at training camp.
Mm-hmm.
I like the idea of reevaluating as a 20-year-old man and say, you know what, or a 21-year-old man at that point probably, I could use another year of SEC football.
I think the compromise, if that ever happened between the two leagues, between college football, they might say, look, we're going to do what we want to do. NFL, we don't care what you think. But it might be if you don't get drafted, you can go back.
Right.
So a guy like Torian York, for instance.
Yeah.
Tyrell Dodson a few years ago, and it worked out
great for Tyrell, yeah.
But you might say, well, I didn't get drafted, so I'll go back to school. Or I'll go back to my college program.
Did you, I know you saw it because it came out yesterday. It's a day late, but I didn't get to talk to you about it. SEC Media Days, humans, going for A&M.
I was a little surprised that Damian Sanford was chosen as one of the 3, only because of his uncertain health status. And I was thinking to myself, they probably don't want him to come in there and be asked about that constantly. But
maybe get it over with before the season starts, so that way it's not a talking point come September, October.
Yeah. Well, now let me ask you this: Does the decision to bring Damian Sanford, do you interpret that in any way like, maybe he's going to be ready to play earlier than we thought?
Well, sometimes we forget that Coach Elko is playing chess while we're playing checkers. So I think the fact that we have to discuss it makes me say, I don't know.
Well,
but my initial thought was like, dude's ready to go. Let's freaking go. But he is so 2 steps ahead of me, probably 5, right? That that it could mean he's. This is what I think it means. Let's go back to what Billy reported pretty much immediately after. It's not going to be as long as everybody else is saying. Okay. Now, does that mean week 1 he's ready to go, or they should play him week 1? Who was the injured player a year or 2 ago? I think it was last year that we didn't think we were going to see him right away, and then we saw him by week 2 or week 3. I can't remember. It'll hit me here in a second, but
it was a receiver, wasn't it?
I think so.
The kid, the transfer from Troy, I think it was.
Jabri Barber?
Yeah.
Okay. And he came a little bit earlier than we expected, right?
Yeah.
Maybe it's something like that. But now, the fact that he's going to SEC Media Days and the fact that Billy reported it immediately, and I think even Coach Elko said it at some point at one of these coaches' nights, that I think potentially hey, let's not overreact because what we saw with our eyes. Everybody wanted to be WebMD, and we looked at it like, ooh, I don't know.
I thought he's done. That's broken.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Maybe it's semi-broken. I don't know. I'm still recovering with this stupid finger.
But you could play. You could tape it together.
I don't think it would. I don't think I could grab.
Because you're a tough guy.
Well, I play one on TV.
You would tape it together and go.
I would go. I just wouldn't be effective. But so I think obviously because he's going to SEC Media Days, it validates everything that Billy's been reporting. He's a lot closer than anybody thought because most people thought he was out for the year, right? And if that means week 1, week 2, week 3, if he's ready to go by Arizona State, so be it.
I know when we listed our top 25 players, 1 to 25, I had on my list.
You can fix it.
I had Sanford pretty early with parentheses saying if he plays.
Yeah.
So this is where I would put him. So everybody else has to get knocked down a notch.
Yeah. If you want to resend me your list, you can. So 25 and 25 is coming out soon. I think you'll be able to vote on it starting Thursday, I believe.
Okay.
If you're a premium subscriber, the way it has, not always worked, the last 3 years, you get a percentage of the votes, I get a percentage, Billy gets it, and the subscribers get a percentage. And we just take that and tabulate it, and Matthew Dawson types it into his brain and spits out an algorithm that has 1 through 25. And sometimes we're very right, and usually we're not so right, because we don't know how things are going to develop, right? Like Damian Sanford, we would have never, I don't think he was in our 25 last year.
I doubt it.
Right? Like I'm positive he wasn't. And he was probably the most important defensive player last year.
Oh, I don't know if he was the most.
No, sorry, Cassius Howell. Sorry.
Yeah, he's probably about 4th or 5th on that list. But he came out and he played really well. He was a playmaker at that linebacker position. And when Scooby got hurt, you're going, oh my gosh, what are they going to do? Well, you know what they did? Can I say it? They got better.
They'll get better. So yes, for a moment I had a senior moment where I forgot about Cassius Howell for just a quick second.
And
and some others.
Albert Regis,
Will Lee, but I think I don't want to say overrate, but I think because it came out of nowhere, it's more memorable to me.
I think what you were getting at was he could be considered the number one player coming back on the defense.
Absolutely. In fact, spoiler alert, for me, he is the number one player coming back on the defense.
Okay.
I actually haven't written down 1 through 11, but as of right now, for the sake of this conversation, number one.
You can make that argument. Somebody might come back and say, well, what about DJ Hicks? Or what about those 2 safeties? Or what about Des Ricks?
Yeah.
Hicks, Ricks, and the safeties.
Yeah.
But that's a good problem to have. I want to be having a lot of guys that you can argue about.
And let's just say I'm wrong. Great. Hopefully it means I'm wrong, but he's still playing at an amazing level, and other people have grown so much. I have seen more from Sanford to feel, and by the way, you're right, Dex Ricks, I don't think we give him enough props on this show sometimes.
I just remember after Sanford got in against Notre Dame, and Notre Dame was looking at a 4th and 1 about midfield, and they run a sweep to the Jeremiah Love.
And who stops him?
And what was it, the old line, Damian Sanford was on him like white on rice.
White on rice, yeah.
Because they were wearing white jerseys.
They were, and rice is typically white unless you get brown rice or you go to, you have fried rice.
Yeah.
And there's soy sauce.
Yeah.
And then there's yellow Spanish rice, and then there's orange Mexican rice.
But I like the steamed rice, and those Notre Dame people were steamed that he made that stop.
I hate orange so much, OB, that I don't eat Mexican rice. Fact.
Scott Clendenin won't drink tea. He will not drink tea because he doesn't want anyone to call him a tea sip. That's a true story.
That's a real Aggie right there.
That is.
It's a little delusional, but it's a real Aggie.
I drink tea, iced tea all the time. So whenever I go out to eat, you move me home. And I like it.
I'm not part of the iced tea community.
But see, I don't sip it. I gulp it.
You're a gulper.
I'm a tea gulper.
You're the big gulp.
That's right, the big gulp.
Take it all. All right. We have Marcel Reed also.
Marcel Reed.
Which the only reason I say it like that is like we haven't had a quarterback go. Texas A&M. I saw your face, Reese. We haven't had him since Kellen Mond. So.
And then Marcus Ratcliffe.
So
I got 2 out of 3.
You did.
On my call, I said because I still would have said Mario Craven. They still probably wouldn't have brought him, but I just thought Sanford would not be an option because of his injury. I'm glad that they're bringing him despite that uncertainty.
Hey, shall we tell the people the name of the show?
TexAgs Live.
Presented by the who?
David Gardner's Jewelers.
Yeah, and we are where?
We're in the Rollo Insurance Studio.
And what is this hour?
This is the Go Hour.
Presented by the who?
Warehouse of CC Creations.
And currently we're sitting where?
In the Holistic Planning Cool Zone.
It is very cool. We like to make money.
It's pretty cool today.
Yeah. If you want to make, if you want to be a part of the conversation, how can you do that?
You can call us on the Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline.
That number is 979-693-1150, but you can also text that number. But we changed the name.
Yeah, if you text it, it becomes the Catalyst Pure Performance Energy PPE text line.
We are the NASCAR of sports radio.
We are. We need to get those NASCAR suits made with all our sponsors on.
All right, Warehouse of CC Creations, if you guys can create that for us, we will wear it on the show.
They can create anything.
Yeah, they can. They can. All right, what else? We should go around the room. We should go left to right.
Let's go around the room.
Let's go. And behind the glass is a man who's been working very hard this morning. I'd say tirelessly. His name is Reese Nygren. Reese, good morning.
Howdy, good morning, y'all. How are we doing?
We're well. When's the last time you had a big gulp?
It's been a minute.
I don't know if I ever have. That was from where? 7-Eleven?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've maybe not had a big gulp too recently, but I've had the equivalent at other places.
32 ounces? Is that a big gulp?
Yeah.
Yeah. I had 32 ounces of water this morning.
Well, I had 32 ounces of probably soda.
Anyway, Reese, what's on your mind this morning?
The method is to put the Slurpee in the big gulp cup. They don't like it, but you can do that.
Oh, look at this guy.
The amount of sugar that you're inhaling in that is going to give you pre-diabetes. Anyway,
Probably.
by all means.
So I was also a little surprised that Damian Sanford was selected to go to media days. I would have thought that it was Micah Riley or Dalton Brooks, one of the other captains. Just curious your thoughts on either one of those guys being the pick.
Well, I don't know how healthy Michael Riley is just yet. I don't know. And Dalton Brooks would have been great. Yeah, he would have been fantastic.
I don't think they would have taken two safeties, even though I wouldn't have a problem with it.
Yeah.
Because I think Dalton Brooks is a spectacular player. Nothing against Michael Riley, but at least from my perspective, I want a guy who plays more.
Yeah.
You know, Mississippi State's bringing their kicker. I'm like,
he's a great talker, though. That guy, he's fantastic.
Is he?
best.
It makes me wonder. It's like the year Baylor. This is no lie.
Daniel Sepulveda?
Baylor put their punter on the front of their media guy. I mean, what does that tell you? You say, well, I guess we're going to suck, but at least we're going to enjoy it. We're going to
I covered that guy. He was jacked. He was a big old punter.
And he could punt.
And he could tackle.
Well, they should have put him in linebacker.
I think he spent some time in the NFL with the Steelers, maybe.
I don't know.
Okay,
but I know
cares.
I've never heard of a punter that was being on the front of a media guy back when they had them.
I did an interview on The Huddle yesterday with Tyler White. It was a fabulous interview. He was really good. I enjoyed talking to him. But yes, on media day, do you think SEC coaches look back and like they talk to their SIDs like, what the hell are these talk show hosts and these columnists talking about, analyzing who we're sending to the podium?
No, they probably don't even know that we're reacting to it. And if they are, they don't care. You know, they're probably saying, look, it's like when I was a kid and my mom would give me something and I didn't like it. And she would say, you get what you get and you don't complain a bit.
Oh, okay. We said, you get what you get and you don't have a fit.
Okay, well, all right, we're the same kind. But that's what they're,
yeah.
The media, you get what you get. Remember, Jimbo used to send this punter out like every week, like once a year maybe, but come on.
Every week? Yeah. Anyway, let's, good stuff, Reese. Appreciate you, sir. We're going to go to the Angry Elephant News and Social Censor. The Munsonator is back. Ashley Munson, it's been how long?
It's been a month. Yeah. A month
so,
since
like,
I've been here.
She's actually Munson.
Yeah.
Munson.
So you just been partying? Or
No.
No partying?
I've been back there producing.
Oh.
Doing tweets and stuff.
They kicked you off the air. Okay, gotcha.
They did. I guess I just suck really bad.
Well,
so.
I mean, don't we all? So anyway, what do we have?
So former Texas A&M All-American infielder Brandon Shoemake has a new home in the Major League Baseball. Mm-hmm. So after spending the last month with the Houston Astros, Shoemake was traded to the Milwaukee Brewers on Sunday.
Yeah, my buddy Philip Vargas just texted me as soon as that happened. Didn't they designate him for assignment initially? I believe that's what they did, and then they ended up trading him. We had him on the show not that long ago, a couple months ago. He was great. I think he was enjoying his time with the Astros. But hopefully he could have a good run there with Milwaukee.
I've never been to Milwaukee.
Trying to think. I don't think I have either.
A lot of beer.
Yeah, I don't do that. Sure. Cold? Beer?
Well, it's not cold and beer usually go together well. It's not cold now, though.
No.
Maybe it'll be cold maybe they'll be playing in late October.
Zero desire to ever go to Milwaukee. Doesn't mean I wouldn't enjoy it. I just have no desire.
I've heard nice things about it, actually. Yeah. It's actually Milwaukee.
Yes, I did actually know that. You know, like, this is how I feel. I had this conversation with somebody the other day. My life is pretty simple. I can live the same way no matter where I live. College Station, Antarctica, Afghanistan, maybe a little different. And, like, it doesn't matter, right? My life, I go to work, I go to soccer practice, I go to the gym, I go to church. That's it. So I can do that anywhere.
Yeah, I'm kind of calling BS on the Antarctica part of that, but everywhere else.
I'm saying it wouldn't be that different. I mean, soccer practice, I'd stay in the car, put the heater on.
Did you go out and jog this morning?
I did.
Yeah, it ain't happened in Antarctica.
Okay, Rocky did it in Russia.
Still, it's not Antarctica.
Good point. One more thing, Munson.
All right.
Munt Sands.
Co-defensive line coach Tony Geroid Eddy is making a big impact on the recruiting trail. The former Aggie is currently ranked as the #1 recruiter in the country after helping Texas A&M land 5 commits in the 2027 class.
Whose ranking is that?
I believe. It's not on here. Let me go check that real quick.
Yeah, check the ranking. I'd like to know who ranked.
Check that real
By the way,
quick.
Tony's great.
Tony Geroid Eddy. All 3 of them.
Tony Geroid and Eddy.
Doing a great job.
He's he played here. He's done a great job. He's worked his way up. Love that guy.
DeSoto guy?
I don't remember high schools like most people.
Somewhere up around that Dallas area.
He is.
He is DeSoto, okay.
Reese Nygren on the 1s and 2s over there, just knowing people's high schools. Let me throw another one at you, okay? All right, let's see if you know, right? I know OB will know.
I can't take credit for that one, though. Richard shouted that one at me.
All right, well, let's see if he can't help you. Ready? Reggie McNeil.
I'm not good with high school.
Oh, yeah. I actually covered his state championship game.
Okay.
They beat Westlake.
Tell the people.
Lufkin.
And then watch this one. Watch this. Javorsky Lane.
Also Lufkin.
I've talked often about, you get a player from Lufkin.
Yeah.
9 out of 10 times he's going to be a really good, because Lufkin produces some pretty tough.
Yeah, they do.
Tough guys.
We'll play the game again. There's no way you'll get it, but this is the only high school I know. Ready? Martellus and Michael Bennett.
Is that your high school?
No, but it's my area. A-Leaf Taylor.
I was going to say, I knew it was A-Leaf.
Yeah, A-Leaf Taylor.
Elsick or Hastings or whatever. Taylor.
Yeah, that's all I know. I'm done. I don't do high schools. All right, let's take a bunch of...
Hey, Munson, where'd you go to high school?
Brock.
Oh, that's right. Brock. Adelier.
I told you this like 4 times.
Look, I forgot. I didn't know your name until you said it.
You're going to do that to him? Where did he grow up?
I don't think I've...
He's definitely said it.
Where he grew up?
Yeah.
Where I went to high school.
Yeah.
We've never talked about where he went to high school. Is it like
Don't
in
you
Texas?
don't watch the show?
Yeah. Ooh.
I do watch the show,
See?
but
Apparently
sometimes I've got to go to my other job, so I can't always tune in when I'm not here.
Beneath the towering oil wells, the wonderful White Oak Roughnecks, fighting Roughnecks.
And he threw a touchdown in a game and caught one.
No, but I did return an interception for a touchdown.
Sorry. Same story. And did they take you to 1775 afterwards?
They should have. 1775 didn't exist. I guarantee you, there was no place in White Oak that could even touch the spectacular flavor of 1775 barbecue.
It's interesting. You played in
Mr. Matney's place wasn't even in the same neighborhood, literally and figuratively.
It's interesting to me that you played in 1775 but didn't eat at 1775 when you were a kid.
Actually, I did not play varsity in 1775, but I was playing in 1775. My varsity season was 1779.
Okay.
Oh, 1979. Only 200 years. But you know what? Had they had 1775 barbecue in
team
White
lunch,
Oak,
right?
Huh?
Team lunch the day of a game? For sure.
Oh, no, not lunch.
Oh.
Because it's, after.
Oh, okay,
that's
good
a
point.
reward.
Yeah.
That's a goal, because maybe if we lost to the Spring Hill Panthers or the Gladewater Bears, they say no 1775.
But it's right there. You could smell it.
That's right. So it would give you that extra motivation to go out and beat the Panthers and beat the Bears and beat everybody else, so you can have some of that succulent barbecue. This is how the coach would have told. Coach Bill Moore, who lives right here in Bryan, would have told, you can get that succulent barbecue. You beat those Panthers, you get those pork ribs, you get the jalapeno cheese sausage. And you know what? If you beat them if you just blow them out, then you get then you get the queso mac and cheese.
Howard Dean of coaches. Olin Buchanan. Woo!
Woo!
979.
I hope Coach Moore heard that.
492. Hey, Coach Moore. Coach Moore?
Coach Moore, Bill
Hey,
Moore.
Coach Moore. 979-492-6241. It is a 12-minute live spot, 1775. TXBBQ.com.
It's good!
Hey everyone, David Nuno here of TexAgs Live. I want to introduce you to the team at Holistic Planning. Got Jason Barber here, Taylor Pankratz, and also Paul Meredith. Jason, I want to start off with you. What really sets holistic planning apart from the others?
Yeah, so what makes us different is most financial advisors stop at investment management. On the other hand, holistic planning, we manage investments, taxes, and estate planning all on one team, all underneath one roof.
Now, Taylor, when everything is coordinated like that, it really helps the bottom line, doesn't it?
It really does. When your investments and taxes are working together, you stop leaving money on the table and keep more of what's yours.
Paul, holistic planning is trying to expand as well.
That's true. We just opened our Houston office, and we're looking for people who feel like their advisor isn't seeing the full picture, because that's exactly what we fix.
And Jason, there's other opportunities beyond that.
Definitely. If you're a financial advisor and you want to join the holistic planning team, we're looking to add 50 teams in the next 5 to 10 years. So check out holisticplanning.com/advisors.
All right, so if you want a team that actually coordinates everything, go to holisticplanning.com. Aggies, this one is worth it. All right, let's count. Ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Okay.
3 what?
Well, what year is this for Jamie Morrison?
This was his 3rd year. I guess he's going to be entering his 4th.
One.
Is that right?
He just yeah, that's correct. Okay.
Because his first year, they did well.
They got in. Yeah. The
And then
second year they got deeper
and
then
lost in in the 5-7 when I got so upset because I thought the game was still going on. I didn't know the rules. I didn't know the fifth game only went to 15.
Right. And then what do they do their third year?
National championship.
Okay. What year is this for Michael Early? Entering his third year?
He's going to be entering his third year.
Okay. I'm not saying all things are equivalent, but okay. What year is this for Michael Elko?
Entering his third year.
The reason I say that is there's last night at the A&M Austin Club dinner, there was a quote from Jamie Morrison, and I think Reese has got it up there. I've told coaches year 3 is where it's at with your teams. In year 3, you have a clear understanding of what it's about. The team was on a mission during the preseason. So first off, 100% when it comes to his team.
Okay.
I'm hoping, now different circumstances, right? That team was built towards that crescendo moment, right? That was a bunch of players that come up his system, and then some transfers, obviously, like Kendall, who,
Was it Jimbo Fisher's best year, his third year?
Yeah.
2020?
Yeah. I don't know if it's going to be Coach Elko's best year or Michael Early's best year. I don't know. But you would think after 2 years of setting your system, your standard, your players, you've picked them all, you would think that now it's just about fine-tuning.
I would think that, you get your program, should have your program fully established in 3 years, especially at a place like A&M.
Yeah.
So Mike Elko, all we're asking is for you to be better than you were last year.
And you can be better and maybe not have a better regular season record. Because I think we would all take 9-3 and 2 playoff wins.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, get me in the playoffs. And after 2 playoff wins, then I'm going to want more, though.
Yeah, you're always going to want more, OB. Yeah, you're always going to want more. Now, there's no guarantee of anything, and I'm not guaranteed. In fact, I don't know. Like you were talking about what you think about this year's team. We don't know because there are a lot of question marks. But I do feel that after Tommy Moffitt for 2 years and after Coach Elko for a couple of years and after getting the players that you want for a couple of years and you've completely rebuilt this program, this year could be a crescendo year.
Could be, except, a place like A&M has in the past, now, Mike, that's not on Mike Elko, but in the past, if you get put 7, 8, 9, 10 players in the NFL draft, there's a predictable ebb tide coming.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully that won't be the case. And again, Mike Elko, we used to say that like Alabama always, even if they lost a lot of guys into the draft, they had earned that benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
Because what Nick Saban said, Mike Elko, with what he's done in the transfer portal, again, I bring up Nate Bokacher, but I could bring up a lot of other guys that, no one knew about and was barely used.
Mm-hmm.
And then they came here and he had a vision for what they could do and where they could be best. And what do you know?
Yeah.
They were outstanding players. So if Mike Elko hits in the portal this year the way he did last year, then they could be every bit as good or better than they were last year.
Yeah. I'm going to read one more, not that it has anything to do with it, but I like this quote from Bucky McMillan. A few names to watch this upcoming season. If you like scoring, PJ Haggerty. He can really put the ball in the basket and get a foul. Luke has raved about him as well. We'll have Luke on hopefully this week to talk a little bit about Aggie basketball because he's been going to some of those practices.
Well, then he averaged like 20-something at Kansas State.
The dude can score.
Yeah.
And
we're talking about PJ, not Luke.
That's a good point. You think he's listening?
I hope so.
Yeah, I hope so too. We'll hit a break. We'll come back. I want to play a soundbite from Paul Feinbaum. Okay. We'll hear that on the other side about the health and the state of college athletics. Do you think he thinks it's good or bad?
Oh, I think the overall health is good, but there's maybe some bad makeup applied and things like that.
We can talk about that on the other side. When insurance matters most, who's going to answer your call? Hopefully it's the Rollo Insurance Group. I got Morgan who handles my account. My wife talks to him more than I do, but we do talk Aggie football, right? My wife handles the finances, and I handle the football talk and the life talk. And Morgan and I talk all the time. And one thing I can guarantee you about Rollo Insurance, they're going to put you in the right spot, right? They're just going to make sure that you are covered, and they're going to ask you the right questions. And they think you're paying too much, they're going to put something better for you, right? They're going to find it for you, and you're going to have someone who's going to put you first. Whether it's home, auto, business, or ranch insurance, you'll start a relationship with an expert who puts you first. And the entire team there at Rollo Insurance is fantastic. Jason, Jackson, Keith, Morgan, the boys and the girls.
The whole family.
The whole family. They're fantastic. Visit rolloinsurance.com/TexAgs, rolloinsurance.com/TexAgs, or call them up, 888-44-ROLLO. That is 888-44-ROLLO.
Hey friends, David Nuno here for the Association of Former Students, and have you checked out the latest issue of the Texas Aggie magazine? The May through June issue is a special Aggie Spirits issue that includes all things Aggie: wine, beer, mead, spirits, and much, much more. And the team at the Association of Former Students searched far and wide for Aggie-owned businesses, breweries, wineries across the state, the country, and even the world. That's right, the globe, baby. And as much as could be found has been compiled into the magazine for the Aggie Network. Now, normally, the Texas Aggie magazine is available only to Century Club members. However, this issue is available to everyone. So to read the issue and explore giving to receive future issues, visit tx.ag/Texas Aggie. That is tx.ag/Texas Aggie. Again, don't miss the special Aggie Spirits issue of the Texas Aggie to explore all things Aggie: wine, beer, mead, spirits, and much, much more. It is tx.ag/Texas Aggie. Check it out. As a reminder, the final segment of the program is brought to you by Double Dave. That's at 10:50. But right now, caller number 12, 979-693-1150. We're going to hook you up with your choice of a dozen pepperoni rolls or a large one-topping pizza from Double Dave. They've been serving Aggie Land since 1984 with your favorite pizza and, of course, those world-famous pepperoni rolls. Reliable in-house delivery, bringing piping hot goodness straight to your door. Just click on doubledaves.com and your favorites are on their way. It is TexAgs Live. We are presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. We are in the Rollo Insurance Studio, and it is the Go Hour presented by the Warehouse at CC Creations, still hanging in the Holistic Planning Cool Zone. OB, Paul Feinbaum, college athletics is the worst run organization. I'm going to let you listen to the bite, but before that headline, agree or disagree?
Oh, yeah.
You've always said that.
Terribly run.
You've said that for a while. Here's Paul Feinbaum yesterday at a conference where he was discussing the state of college athletics.
Over the last 20 to 25 years, the worst run industry that I have seen, including radio, by the way, is college athletics.
Yeah.
I mean, you literally have some of the most arrogant, foolish, misguided people, and it's still a great sport. I am no more concerned that college football is going to go away than I am worried that mine and your 401k will go down the drain today because of the crooks that are 18 blocks from here on Wall Street. It's just, it is, and part of it is what we talked about at the beginning. It's the fan base. I have had people come up to me and say, I don't like the players getting money, and they're still dying for a.
Thank you, Paul. They're dying.
Dying for a ticket.
Dying for a ticket. So here's a couple thoughts on that. First off, you ever had a boss and that people just laugh at his jokes and they over-laugh when he's talking?
Oh, yeah.
Like sometimes Billy will say something in the lobby and I don't know, Richard just laughs super loud, right? Like, no, I'm kidding about Richard, but
Richard.
you know what I'm talking about, right?
I've never seen Richard laugh in my life.
Yeah, you're right. He doesn't laugh. There was a moment in that press conference with the moderator, I assume, like, Gabe, can we listen to the first 5 seconds of that? Just listen to this belly laugh. I think this is fantastic. This is a fake laugh at epic proportions.
Over the last 20 to 25 years, the worst run industry that I have seen, including radio, by the way.
Sorry.
But to your point, yes.
I
think we've all seen this everywhere.
Yes. I'm going to start doing that with you. When you have a pretty good joke, I'm going to go over the top.
But I'm not the boss.
You're right. I'm the boss. I'm not your boss. Anyway, could college athletics never have been better, or college football, and worse at the same time? Like, there's a lot of, think about it. We've got freaking college football shows everywhere. Like, it dominates television. It dominates podcasts. It is, the interest has never been higher. The intrigue has maybe never been higher. Yet we still see it, like, maybe it's the way you defined it on our tease earlier, like just the bad makeup.
Yeah, or it's like the twin. There's the evil twin, in the thing, or Bizarro Superman.
Yeah.
Yeah, the product itself is excellent, and people love it. College football, people are filling the stands all the time. Basketball, the March Madness is still as popular as ever. College baseball, I think, has never been more popular.
Yeah.
And I think it's growing in popularity, even women's sports.
Volleyball.
Too. Yeah. So, you see volleyball. When did you ever see volleyball on television? You got conferences with their own networks. Why is that? It's got to be because the people
are
love
interested.
The product.
Yeah.
But the people in charge, first of all, a lot of times it's just the eggheads who don't know sports. They're in charge on the presidents. That's your BCS and things like, or not your BCS, but your committees and things like that. That allow, when the NCAA who hired Miles Brand? So Miles Brand was awful.
Awful.
But the people who hired Miles Brand, who had years to fire him and didn't, and then said, hey, I know I've been on this road before, but all you have to say to wonder why or if college sports is terribly managed is what other business is would ask Congress to solve their problems. I mean, and then complain when Congress starts trying to solve your problems.
You're right. I wonder, OB, if what we've seen in the NBA, people still watch the NBA. I don't think the NBA, the product to me is not as appealing. I know the youngsters like it, okay?
Yeah.
But the 30 to 60-year-old, maybe 40 to 60-year-old, probably doesn't watch it like they did back in the day, okay?
Right, I don't.
I don't either. And let me tell you, there was a stretch of my life where I didn't miss an NBA night, right? I watched it every night before bed or before I went to the party when I was young, right? Like the NBA was part, and I don't pay attention that much. Part of it's because I'm more interested in my beat here, which is A&M athletics. But the other part is not as, I'm just not as intrigued by it. Some of it is the style of play. That's some of it. But do you think the player movement era, the LeBron joining the Heat and the ripple effects of that affected some olds, not youngs? And by the way, we're seeing that in college athletics now, where you can just, the musical chairs of rosters. Do you think that 5-10 years from now could have a ripple effect where there's not the same kind of interest?
Maybe, but I think I think that was an annoyance to the NBA fans. I think what is a bigger problem for NBA fans is when they watch the game officiated and you can't even deny that you're not officiating evenly.
Okay.
And I think that just puts off a lot of people. You know, when you see a 6'9", 270-pound guy, there's no contact and he's falling down. Mm-hmm. And you're like, I'm not going to watch this crap.
Right.
So they don't officiate evenly. Well, I don't.
SEC officiating gets in trouble too.
I actually, that's just from incompetence.
Mm-hmm.
I actually think that the moving around, as much as I don't like it, actually has enhanced college sports' popularity because you can get better faster.
Yeah.
I don't have to hire a coach and say, okay, I got to sit through 2 or 3 years of getting my head beat in, but hopefully in year 3 or year 4, I can win.
Yeah. The flip side of that is you can also lose all momentum like that.
Yeah. Yeah. And it makes it, I think it's actually making the game more popular.
Yeah.
Look at Texas A&M last year. Does Texas A&M go 11-2 without Tyler Onyedin, without
Cassius Howell,
who was a transfer?
Yeah.
I mean, you just think of all the transfers: Amaji Reed Adams, Casey Concepcion, Mario Craver, Bokacher.
That's why I would love a one-time transfer, no penalty.
Okay. But still, it's a transfer, still people moving around.
Yeah.
And I think that, look at Indiana. Indiana won a national championship at Indiana because you could bring guys in.
All right, so somebody who says, hey, Olin, all you're saying is these great things that are happening. Why would we change? Why would we run our business? It's obviously working, what we're doing.
Oh, yeah, it's like because you can be better. It's almost like a captainless ship that somehow finds its way to port.
Yeah.
Kind of like TexAgs. But
that's a shot at me.
No. Somehow finds its way to port and, all the cargo gets dispersed the way it needs to be. But, maybe it takes it a little bit longer. I think, for instance, you got to do, you mentioned the officiating.
Yeah.
You got the Big 12 officials are going to call it one way. The SEC officials are calling it another way. The Big 10 officials. Yeah. You need to put that all under one umbrella. Mike Elko says, hey, we got himself. He said, people are looking at what's best for them instead of what's best for the game.
Yep.
So you got to figure out a way to get everybody to agree. You can have conferences, but they're still under the same NCAA or whatever it's going to be called, but they actually have to follow the same rules. And if somebody breaks a rule, you have to be held accountable equally.
Yep.
Oklahoma can't get, A&M can't get probation and can't play for a national or Can't play for a championship or a bowl game or postseason and not be on TV, and Oklahoma loses 2 scholarships for the very same offense.
Yeah. Hey, we're about to hit a break, but let me read this. Malik Barroso, okay? Or Malik, I think it's Malik. David and Olin, shout out. Can you give a shout out to my driver, Corey? We're working and watching you guys in Idaho. Now, I hope this is not a troll, right? Could be, but I think Malik is for reals. So shout out to Corey, the driver. Must be nice to have a driver.
Salute, right? Corey.
Like,
salute, Idaho.
If it's your driver, that means you are banking, bro, because most people say my Uber driver. But you just say my driver. That's like...
It's a chauffeur.
Chauffeur. What?
He's probably a rich guy.
Yeah.
He went to A&M.
Malik, come on. I'm going to be like Luke. Are you going to take me places to sponsor so I can talk about it on the air? Let's go. Let's go to Idaho.
Go to Idaho. Idaho, but Alaska.
Sorry, I was doing the guy from earlier.
You ever heard that one?
Yeah, no.
If Mississippi gave her New Jersey to Missouri, what would Delaware? Idaho, but Alaska.
Ah, that was good.
An old one.
We'll hit a break. We'll come back with the shortest of segments. It's TexAgs Live. Goodbye.
I'm Wes Mangan, and I live on a piece of property with my wife and 2 boys and several animals. I work in oil and gas, and I travel a lot, and so when I come home, it's like my sanctuary. I get to see Lauren and the boys, and it's been just a perfect fit for us, and it's really improved our family time. And this is the first land I'd ever purchased, so dealing with the land side of things and dealing with Capital Farm Credit was super easy for us through the whole process. I definitely feel like with Capital Farm Credit, together we are better.
At Brazos Valley Floor and Design, the Morrow family has helped Bryan College Station homeowners remodel with confidence for over 25 years, backed by the Adore Your Floor guarantee.
When you're ready to update a kitchen, refresh a living room, or renovate the whole house, come see the latest in flooring, from designer carpet to laminate, luxury vinyl plank, hardwood, and tile.
We're 2 generations, hands-on from design to installation.
Brazos Valley Floor and Design, best floor and design since 1999.
And that's a promise.
OB, do you know the story behind the first time I ever went to Tampa/Clearwater?
Wasn't that for a job interview?
Yeah. So in 1999, I'm a banker.
Did you party like it was 1999?
Oh, bro, I partied hard. And I actually did back then. And I did not have a resume tape, but I made one in my living room. Okay, I was, 22 years old, whatever I was. And I sent it around the country. And a recruiter called me and said, the Home Shopping Network would be interested in interviewing you for a sports show that they're going to be launching. So they flew me to Tampa, okay? And I obviously didn't get the job, but it was the most amazing complex. It was incredible. And they're like, well, if you get this show, you'll be selling sports memorabilia. But if you don't, we can have you selling women's jewelry, cubic zirconia, this and that. And obviously, I wouldn't have been a great fit. I'm not a salesman. I have RBF at all times. So, like, my smiles always look fake. Always. Like, you've never seen me smile like, oh, that's a genuine smile. You're like, he doesn't want to smile. So anyway, I wouldn't have worked. It wouldn't have worked out well at the Home Shopping Network. But that's the first time ever. Do you even know what the Home Shopping Network is?
No.
Okay, so your generation doesn't know. It's on TV. But
it was Amazon on television.
Yeah, Amazon on TV. You don't care. She's lost total interest. She's about to do a belly laugh.
No, I remember as a kid, like they would have the Pillow Pet commercials, and you'd go to the number. Like, are you talking about those?
Yeah, the phone number. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, could you imagine how different life would be if that was the Home Shopping Network, Nuno?
You know, I'm sure you would have been very, very good at it. I don't smile either, because when I smile too big, like my eyes disappear.
Yeah, that happens to me too. Yeah, I think it's my left eye that
like Lisa Lopes. Left eye Nuno. Hey, you impressed that I knew that?
Left eye Lopez. Yeah,
I only knew her because she burned down her boyfriend's house.
Andre Rison. Do you know who Andre Rison is? Do you?
Bad Moon.
Bad Moon Rison. Atlanta Falcons, great, and a couple other places.
Michigan State Spartans.
Yep. All right. Thank you, OB.
Yep.
When we come back on this show that we call TexAgs Live, John Harris will join us. We'll chit-chat with Johnny. Some Texans things, some NFL things, some Aggie things, you name it. It's TexAgs Live. Welcome back, TexAgs Live. We are presented by David Gardner's Jewelers Rollo Insurance Studio. Hour number 2 of the program. It's Wednesday at 9 a.m., which means a chit-chat with our dear friend John Harris, Houston Texans sideline reporter, footballtakeover.com founder, and my dear friend. Johnny, good morning, buddy. How are you?
Yeah, David, been a tough 24 hours here in Houston. But celebration of the life of Janice McNair, instead of obviously focusing on her passing away, I think is really important. I think about, being on your show with you, David, and part of that has to be with the fact I'm with the Texans. The Texans don't exist without Janice McNair, and obviously Bob McNair. So her passing yesterday, albeit a tough day, I think people celebrating what she and her husband brought back to the city of Houston. So it's been sort of celebratory in a way, in a weird way. But, it's tough finding that out about 24 hours from yesterday.
Yeah, Johnny, it's so I went to Mr. McNair's funeral back in the day, or the celebration they did at NRG. And I didn't know Janice very well, but I had spoken to her a couple times. What is something that folks get wrong about the McNair family?
Well, I think probably the biggest one is that, they don't care. They just, they brought football back to Houston. They don't really, the Texans didn't win in the playoffs. That's all right. It's a good old try, move on to the next. They were not wired that way. They were extremely involved with the football team, but they let their football people make the decisions. And there would be times when obviously their voices needed to be heard. And there were times where there were Texans employees and staff and coaches, and their voices were heard. And they didn't care for what they heard. But they never aired anything out publicly. They never, blasted, Terry Pagula going to a press conference last year with the Buffalo Bills, blasted Sean McDermott basically. And it was like the McNairs were never going to do that. If they had any issue, they were going to take it behind closed doors and make everybody understand the mission of the Texans. And that was to bring championships back to Houston, help the communities of Houston, and keep things as positive as possible. And look, it's a business where it's not always positive. I mean, you talk to a coach and say, "Coach, how's it going?" And the coach gives you 50 negative things. But Janice and Bob always kept it positive. And I remember there was a board meeting going on in one of our big conference rooms one day, and at the time they wanted Mark Vandermeer, the voice of the Texans, and I to come in and give us kind of a preview of the season. And as we kind of started and we talked, we started getting some questions from the board that were kind of pointed in, what we don't have, what we're not doing, or, what could be trouble. And I remember it was after about 2 or 3 questions, and she finally looked at me. She's like, "But John, we have a talented team, though. We have a talented team, and we have good coaches, so we can do some good things, right?" And I was glad she did that because I was getting a little frustrated with kind of the questions we were getting. And I said, "Ms. McNair, you're exactly right." And I really kind of pointedly kind of went through, and we got done with the meeting, and she came over to me. She gave me a big hug, and she goes, "I'm glad you're as positive about this team as I am." And I just, we can fall into that, "Oh, we don't have this, we don't have that, oh, what was us, we lost to New England." But there was a fire there. It was a competitive fire there, but they were going to do it in a positive manner. And they were going to make people that were in that building feel like they were part of the McNair family. And that's the way I always felt. And they were just genuine, beautiful people. I'll tell you this last thing. This was one thing I didn't know. I was over there. It was probably about my second or third year with the Texans. And I got asked to do some football from college football games on TV. And one of the first games that I did was over at Houston Baptist, now Houston Christian. So I've been to Houston Baptist a million times, but not since they put in a field or stadium. And so I didn't know where it was. So I knew I was in and around the place, and I always show up early, you know that, David. And so I get over there like super early. And so like I'm the first person they're opening the gate for. And so it gives me kind of an opportunity to walk around a little bit. And I walk over, and there's kind of a ticket pavilion kind of will call area. And I look, and they've got this bronze plaque, and it's Bob and Janice McNair. And I read, and I'm like, what's this about? I was like, they're from North Carolina, South Carolina. Bob went to South Carolina. Like, what is this all about? They gave the money for that stadium, and I don't think they had any ties that I knew of at the time to HBU, now HCU. I don't think I didn't know they had any connection. Yet that was a new program that was started up, and the McNairs gave them the money to be able to build that stadium, to be able to put a football product in there, and get that program, kick-started. And they've been able to put guys in the NFL. Jalen Hunt now with the Eagles. They've been able to really build that program, but that doesn't start with the McNairs. And then as I'm there with the Texans a little bit, longer and longer and longer, I realized, man, they've given money to everybody. They've given away like $750 million in charitable donations, and obviously they gave it to HCU. So I think that is probably one part that I found out in the first few years I was over there. How many different entities, charities, schools they gave money to, and they helped from the ground up, because they always, had said, look, everybody needs a little bit of help, and they gave a positive boost to a lot of people in that particular way. So, yeah, they're unforgettable people, and I think that Cal and Hannah McNair will carry the mantle and carry it very, very well. But it's really hard to match what Janice and Bob did for the city of Houston.
Johnny, I do want to bring up one other thing about the McNairs too, because I was a diehard Oilers fan, and when they left, I felt like it was going to be 10, 20 years before we got an NFL team back in Houston. And it was quickly after, right? Like I think within a year they had already their bid in, right?
Yeah, it's pretty interesting, and I've actually had a short conversation with Mr. McNair about this, and I remember him saying he felt like it was his civic responsibility to the city of Houston to bring football back. But he knew he had to do it right. And I think what's interesting is, and John McClain, the Hall of Famer, our good friend, tells a story that the NFL wanted LA. They wanted LA badly. I mean, it's like that significant other, that you're chasing and chasing and chasing, and she's beautiful or he's handsome, and you're just chasing, and yet they're so flawed, and you're like, I can't do this. Mr. McNair had their ducks in a row. They had all their money ready to go. He had sold Cogent. He had the money that was ready. He was like, we're set. We're ready. And he kept telling the NFL that. They kept telling the NFL that. And the NFL kept saying, look, they were saying it without saying it, like, yeah, we really want to be in LA. But Mr. McNair had his ducks in a row. And he told John McClain before the NFL decided on who was going to be the 32nd team, he kept telling him, John, don't worry about it. We're good. They're not ready. They don't have their financing together. They're a freaking mess. We're good. And lo and behold, he was right. And not that people in Houston were like surprised, but there was this thought of, wow, we got this over LA. Now, LA ended up getting, their teams eventually, as St. Louis, the Rams and the Chargers. They eventually got their LA. It took a few years to be able to do that. But Mr. McNair was so buttoned up in how he did his business. And Roger Goodell loved the McNairs. And obviously, when you walk in, with Janice McNair, you're just, she was a spitting image of my mother-in-law, and I loved my mother-in-law. And they were just, tremendous people. But Mr. McNair had his money ready to go, and I'll never forget him telling me, he's like, John, I moved here to Houston. Houston is where we raised our kids. It was not always easy. Went bankrupt a couple of times, but I felt like I owed it and we owed it to the city of Houston to bring NFL football back. And I always think about that. But I also think about it from the standpoint of how many people like myself, I don't even know if I'm in Houston, David, if the Texans don't exist. We started a radio station at 1560 and they came back for that. But after things went sideways, Mark Vandermeer gave me an opportunity to come over and be with the Texans. I've been there for, 12 years now, 13 years now. And that doesn't happen if the McNairs don't, as I said, take it on as a civic responsibility to the city of Houston to bring NFL football back. And he was an Oilers season ticket holder. He loved games in Houston. And he just felt, so torn when the Oilers left. And he made it kind of his mission. And it really was, I think, it was about a year, maybe a year and a half later, where kind of I don't say noise, that sounds bad, but just kind of the rumblings of, hey, there might be an opportunity to bring football back here, and the McNairs might be the right people. And they were just patient, and they waited, kept telling the NFL, I want to do it in Houston. John McClain told us something last night I thought was interesting, David. He said every time that ownership of a team was kind of up for grabs, the NFL and Roger Goodell would call Mr. McNair and say, hey, this team is up for sale. This team is up for sale. We want you to bid. And Mr. McNair's like, no, I want NFL football in Houston. And it was probably about 5 or 6 teams that he turned down until they made the bid for the Texans and ended up getting it and bringing them to Houston. So those two were just instrumental in a lot of people's lives. So when they're watching the game at noon on Sunday, they should look above and thank the McNairs and say, I'd love my Sundays at Reliance Stadium. Well, you have the McNairs to thank for that. Janice and Bob were such huge parts of our Houston culture as a result.
Johnny, I'm going to ask you a question that I kind of asked Shireen Williams yesterday, just get your perspective of both C.J. Stroud and Marcel Reed. And the reason I'm lumping them together is I think both of them are talked about differently this year, entering this season, than maybe they were during most of the season last year because of their last couple of games, right? So C.J.'s obviously terrible ending. Marcel throws an interception last play. I mean, it was a very windy day. It wasn't his best game. We know that. He threw some interceptions down the stretch. But if those games maybe don't go differently result-wise, but they're just average, right? If C.J. Stroud doesn't have a horrible playoff game, if Marcel doesn't throw an interception on the last play of the game, I'm just curious, do you think we're talking about those guys differently based on one game as opposed to the body of work?
Oh, absolutely. It's funny, David, you bring this up because I think when you were on vacation, I was on with Ryan, and we got to talking about this. And it's funny because it hit me as I was talking about it. As I was talking about Marcel, I was like, holy crap, I'm kind of talking about CJ. And as I was talking about CJ, I was like, I'm kind of talking about Marcel. And I think this is where it gets a little dangerous out in our media world, because so many media members, they want to create a narrative about a particular situation, player, coach, whatever it might be. And after the struggles, and look, I've said this before. I've said it to you. I've said it to TexAgs numerous times. I went back. I got the film of the Miami game from our film department, and I went and I watched every throw Marcel made, and I was like, and this happens a lot when you're watching film. Like, hey, it's not as good as it seems, not as bad as it seems. And this fell into it was not as bad as it seemed. There were a couple of miscommunications with receivers where Marcel threw the ball one way and a receiver was maybe trying to work into a different area. There were a few of those. There were a couple that Marcel wanted to have back. There's no question about that. But I don't ultimately think that Marcel, he didn't play his best game. He knows that. But I don't think he played as poorly as everybody wanted to portray it. And, when a game is over 30 minutes after the game, when you haven't, sat down and watched really the tape of the game, and you got to write an article, what's your first thought? Well, Marcel Reed didn't play. Look at the numbers. A&M didn't move the ball. Look at this. Look at that. And that narrative gets created. And then people who didn't really watch the game, but they're relying on Joe Smith from the Associated Press's report, that narrative grows and grows. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you I thought Marcel played a Heisman Trophy winning game against Miami, but I don't think it was as bad as everybody thought. For CJ, the New England game, the first half was as bad as everybody thought. There's no getting around that. But it's that adage of the Aggies got in the playoffs. That playoff game at noon I think it was noon on a Saturday, was seen by the entire nation. And there are a lot of people that probably didn't watch A&M throughout the year and see what Marcel did in games throughout the 2025 season. They saw that one game, and they formed their opinion on that one game. And that's very dangerous. I think the same happened for CJ. CJ didn't have the greatest 2025, but you can see the growth in him as an NFL quarterback. But a lot of people watched those two playoff games, and those are the only two games they saw of C.J. Stroud. They didn't see him against the Niners earlier in the year when he was tremendous without Nico Collins and without Christian Kirk. They didn't see him in the fourth quarter against the Chiefs. They didn't step that late on a Sunday night when he's throwing probably 3 balls in the fourth quarter that, put us in a position to beat the Chiefs in Arrowhead on a Sunday night. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you that CJ was at a really, really, really high level in 2025's regular season like Marcel was, but because of the ending. And that's all you see. I mean, hell, think about a movie. You see the ending, and you're like, oh, that movie is awesome. Then you go back and watch the whole movie. Man, that movie sucked except for the ending. And vice versa. Think of The Sopranos. The Sopranos was a tremendous series all the way along. A lot of people had a lot of issue with the way the ending went. And it was like, man, that series was so good. And then it ended like that. And people were like, man, I hate The Sopranos. Well, they formed their opinion based on the last 5 minutes of an Emmy-winning show that went on for 7 seasons. And that can happen. And it has happened. My point in all that is going to 2026, I think both of them are, I think Marcel probably, not as much as CJ. I think the Texans have done, and CJ's not an excuse maker, but I'm just using this as phrasing. They've taken away any excuse or reason for CJ not to succeed. Hey, run game wasn't there. David Montgomery, 4 offensive linemen, 3 of them knew the Texans. Went out and got, I said David Montgomery, but they got the 3 guys on the interior line, so that's gone. They added a tight end in the draft in Marlon Klein. They got a new center in Keelan Rutledge. The center was a spot they maybe struggled a little bit last year. They've taken all the excuses away. Now, with Marcel, the offensive line is going to be one, and he won't use it as an excuse, but it's a reason why he could struggle because that's a new group. And so Marcel's probably putting a little bit more on his shoulders. The excuses are really kind of all gone for CJ. Marcel, the offensive line has to come together and gel a little bit, but it's still a talented offense, and it's still one of the most talented teams in the SEC. And it is obviously going to fall on his shoulders, and that is 2026 in a nutshell. Our teams, the Aggies and the Texans, will go as their quarterbacks take them. Now, you know me, when it comes to team sports, I hate that because there's so many things that go into that. But I do think that the narratives got blown out of proportion for both of them, only because the way the season ended. And both of them will tell you, because I know the competitors they are, I didn't play very well in those games. I did not play very well. And you ask why, and they'll point all the fingers at themselves when there were a lot of reasons, not excuses, a lot of reasons why both of them did not play very well at the end. But that definitely did not define the way to me that they played throughout the entire 2025 season.
Johnny, last thing for you. Damian Sanford's going to be going to SEC Media Days. There was fear that he was going to be lost for the year. Billy reported quickly after that, slow down on that. What do you think it means that Sanford is going to SEC Media Days and potentially what his timeline could look like?
It's so funny you say that, David, because when I saw the list of who's attending, that was the first thing that stood out. And I went, oh, whoa, that's great news. Now, again, it may not mean a hill of beans. It might just mean, hey, look, he's a great representative of our program. But I got to think, if he's going to Media Days, that's a great sign that he's going to be ready to go. Maybe not immediately in training camp, or maybe he'll wear like a green jersey, non-contact, whatever. But I thought it was that was the first thing that stood out. And then, if I remember correctly, Mario's not going, right? Is Craver not going?
Craver's not going, no.
Yeah, well, that was the other thing that stood out, because I went, wait, holy crap. Oh, wait, hey, Stanford's going. That must mean pretty good things. And then I thought about Craver not going. But then again, look, some people, some players, hate that kind of thing. And, you've been to Media Days. You know how it is. You're getting questions from everywhere. If you were a tree, what kind of tree would you be? When you go to Tennessee, how much you hate the Volunteer fans. And you're like, okay. So I'm sure that Mario's not missing a whole lot in his estimation. But I did think it was great. From that standpoint, that felt positive to me. Like, hey, he's probably moving in the right direction. Again, may not be ready, immediately, but I got to think if they're bringing him Media Days, he's going to be pretty close. Because again, if you're sitting there and you get in one of those media scrums, David, what's going to be one of the first questions coming from some media member? Hey, how healthy are you? You going to be ready to go start of the year? Well, even if he was going to, but it was dicey, they wouldn't send him, because that's how do you answer that question if you're a 22-year-old, usually answer honestly, well, it's probably going to take me 3 to 6 weeks or whatever. I would imagine that they feel pretty confident where he's going, that he can answer that question relatively easily. Hey, progressing really well, hoping I can be ready for the start of the season. And that'll be news. I mean, that'll absolutely be news for, those in the SEC and obviously those in the TexAgs world and, Aggies everywhere. That's massive, massive news. So I was glad to see that, even though I know some of those guys don't always love the media day type thing. It is a fun event, and I do think the players do have a good time. But man, you get some nonsense questions. I'll tell you this story, David. I went my very first media days. It was 2006. It was ACC media days, and so they came in 2 groups. And so on the second day it was Miami. And so basically what they did was they set up these tables and chairs in one of the ballrooms. And they would put a coach at the chair, and then everybody would sit around and ask questions and all that. So it was reported that one of the Miami Hurricanes had been questioned about a firearm, a gun that he shot off or whatever from his house. And apparently there was like some tussle, and he ran in and got the gun, and he shot it off in the air, and everybody scattered. And so Miami was there the next day. And I'll protect this reporter. But the question came up. The question came up about, I can't remember how it was phrased, and I can't remember who the quarterback was, but it was the quarterback for Miami. And at some point, the reporter, kind of hearing the question, then goes, "Well, do you have a gun? Do you keep a gun? Do you feel safe without a gun?" And I was fell on my chair. I'm like, holy crap. I mean, that was not the question I was expecting, and I'm sure the quarterback wasn't expecting, but he handled it really, really well. And I just was like, man, they get some nonsense at these media days. I was like, I'm glad that I don't do this, because I probably would have given that guy the stupidest answer possible. And it probably would have gone viral. So media days, Mario Craver can feel good that he's not there answering those type questions.
Johnny, great stuff as always, my friend. Appreciate you, sir.
Yeah, love you, man. See you, bud.
Love you, bro. That's my guy, John Harris, on the Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. We'll hit a break, and when we come back on TexAgs Live, we're going to chit-chat. That's what we're going to do. 30 minutes of nothing but a lot. You can do the belly laugh. It's okay. Wow, that seemed like the Joker laughing there. Milliken Reserve time. Farm-to-table community in College Station. They got homes. They got trails. They got farms. They got wide open spaces. Do you love the earth? Well, you should go to Milliken Reserve. That means you love the earth. You like climbing trees? Probably not if you're older than 9, but it's still fun to do. You like to jump rope? You like to go hiking, biking, canoeing, kayaking? Do you like to just throw the ball with your kid? Actually spend time with your family? Do it at Milliken Reserve. It's outdoors. Vitamin D. It's fun. It's a great place to go. They have an extensive network of trails throughout a wooded landscape where you can go walking, check out the equestrian paths, the creeks, the ponds, the gathering areas. And they're committed to maintaining and restoring that natural habitat. Go there and enjoy it. The website is millikenreserve.com. That website again, millikenreserve.com. Everybody, David Nuno here from TexAgs, here with some of our new friends from Frog Slayer. We've got the CEO, Ross Morrell, and the VP of Revenue, Jacob Stone. Ross, I want to start off with you. Who is Frog Slayer? What do you all do?
Yeah, Frog Slayer is a custom software, AI and automation company. We're based here in College Station. We've got about 50 employees right here, almost all Aggies. We've been doing this since 2005, about 21 years. Really what we do is we partner with business owners of growing businesses. And our goal is to come in, help them actually realize the promise of technology in their company so they can create a company that is worth more than is tomorrow, than is today, and run a better business.
Jacob, I do want to ask you, what's different about Frog Slayer's approach when it comes to AI?
Yeah, absolutely. So we don't just do AI, we do AI right. And so what that means is we embed ourselves inside of our client's team, and we help them plan, build, and ship solutions that they can deploy to a production environment that anyone can use.
All right, Ross, I've got to ask you, why the name Frog Slayer?
Yeah, it's an old riff off Mark Twain quote. So He said the hardest thing you got to do today is eat a frog. It's best to do it first thing in the morning. So that's kind of our ethos of doing hard things first. And it's also a nice tie into gigging.
Yeah, I love that. Jacob, let's close out. Where can we all find Frog Slayer?
Yes, you can find us online at frogslayer.com.
All right, thank you very much to both of you, Ross and Jacob. Check out Frog Slayer. Back to back like Lethal Weapon. Back to back like Drake. I don't know. I think only 4 people understand either of those references. It's TexAgs Live. We are presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. Munson didn't get it. I think Nykren probably got it, right? Head nod? Yes? No? No? Lethal Weapon, you've seen it? Danny Glover? Mel Gibson? Familiar? No.
No, haven't seen it.
So you didn't get the reference.
No, I didn't. I just
Lethal
wanted to
Weapon
make
Part
it feel
2,
like it.
I believe was called Back to Back. Okay? And Drake referenced that movie in a song with, who's the rapper from Philadelphia? Okay.
Meek Mill?
Meek Mill. Good old Meek.
Actually, I feel like I have seen this movie just a long time ago, like in my younger days.
Meek Mill or Danny
Lethal
Glover?
Weapon.
She's lying to you.
Yeah, she's
No,
totally lying.
Reese, I'm not.
Tell me what the premise of the show, of the movie.
Isn't
Anything
it,
about it.
Isn't it about like action, violence, guns,
That was
thriller?
super generic.
Actually, it's a romance comedy.
No.
Yeah, about 2 buddy cops. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Danny Glover and Mel Gibson. It was a romance comedy.
Really?
They fall in love as partners. Yeah, in the 80s. Seriously. Anyway.
I think you're
Like
joking.
in a cop brother love. Anyway.
Like best friends.
Yes. Like yeah, they
you and
love each
OB.
other like family.
Like the other guys. With
Yeah,
Will
like
Ferrell and
Bad Boys.
Mark
You've seen Bad Boys,
Yeah.
right? You haven't.
Bad Boys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Will Smith?
Yes.
Martin Lawrence? You haven't seen that either.
Was it in early 2000s?
Well, they made several. It's like the Fast and the Furious. Every 2 years, there's a new Bad Boys.
See, they got to stop doing that.
I agree. You know that I am not, you don't know this. The audience may know. I don't watch Fast and Furious. I've tried. They're horrendous. First of all, I don't think Vin Diesel's any good. He just bugs me. That's A. This is supposed to be a football, but I'm sorry. He bugs me. The premise of it, they just drive fast and they're like crime fighters, but they're not, and the police are always after them, and then The Rock has a role somehow, and Jason Statham somehow is involved, but they're in other movies and other franchises. It's just stupid. Okay? I know you don't seem to care. So,
No, I do. Tokyo Drift is my favorite one.
Why do they go to Tokyo?
Because the Drift Kings.
That's the name of the gang?
Yeah, I think they're called the Drift Kings.
Yeah. I like
There's a guy that's really good.
I like my love story of Lethal Weapon way better than this. Anywho, what is popping on TexAgs today?
So on TexAgs today, we have Pass the Sticks with Richie Anderson and Houston Thomas. We have a possible column from OB, coverage from the Fort Worth A&M Club Coaches Night, and the vote in 25 players in 25 days. So go ahead and be a premium subscriber so you can go ahead and vote.
Yeah, go vote. And if you haven't gotten your tickets for preseason kickoff, you're missing out. Yeah? Thanks for agreeing with me, Ashley Munson.
You're welcome.
I'm going to read this tweet real quick to give this segment a little bit of football. Think tank here. Leon O'Neal. We love Leon, right? Okay. Audience participation. Thanks, guys.
Yes, we do.
All right. I love how everyone is interested in the mind of Coach Elko. The way he sees the game and the way he comes up with solutions for opposing offenses has always impressed me. This is based on, I think, from one of his speeches to the coaches convention in San Antonio years back. I just saw it every year. It makes like a resurgence. But I'm just curious what you guys all think. How much do you think these coaches tell the absolute recipe? I think they give a. You don't want to put too much out there so they know how to combat you, right? And because these high school coaches are one day maybe going to be college coaches, and these college coaches have access to video too. Believe it or not, they have the internet. So I'm just curious how much do you kind of have to hold back? Coach Elko strikes me as a guy who doesn't hold back. Like back in the day, aging myself again, the Utah Jazz, who I hated with Jerry Sloan, Karl Malone, and John Stockton, they did the same offensive set every time. You know what that was, Nygren?
I know they ran the same one. I don't remember what the name of it was.
The pick and roll. That's all they did. Stockton, Malone, pick and roll, right? Would it be a pick and pop? Would it be a pick and roll? But it was hard to stop the mailman going down the lane. And you can know what they're going to do, but can you stop what they're going to do? And I'm just saying, I think sometimes really good coaches, it doesn't matter if you shouldn't know the plays. Hello. Don't want to talk about a World Series. But what you should, if you can't stop it, it's because they're running it to perfection. So I don't know if Coach Elko holds back too much. And everything is nuanced, right? It's going to be based on your personnel. Now, he's bringing up old examples of old quarterbacks. And this, of course, I think was from 2018, 2019. So anyway, we're going to hit a break. We'll come back. I got a little football thing for you. No, we won't talk about Lethal Weapon. We won't talk about Die Hard. We won't. Have you seen Die Hard?
Yes, my dad plays that every single Christmas.
Yeah? Do you think of it as a Christmas movie?
I don't, but he does.
Okay.
And so I'm there for family time, so I'm going to watch it with him. But
Nygren, you watched Die Hard?
I've seen it. I do not consider it a Christmas movie.
Okay. Do you know the main actor in it?
Bruce Willis.
Do you know his name on the movie?
I do not.
John McClane.
Wow.
See, I only do this because I forget, obviously in the first segment I said I didn't talk about Cassius Howell for a moment, right? So I have seen your moments, but I also can recall, this is classic dementia, I can also recall things from the 80s that have no reference or relevance in my life today.
It's impressive.
Like the 1988 Oakland A's starting shortstop was Walt Weiss. I'm just saying, this is what I do. And I lose the audience. All right, so we'll talk Heritage Films now. We had John Harris on the show earlier. I love John. John and I worked together at 1560 The Game, became great friends. We worked together at Sporting News Radio. He did a national show right after mine. Humble brag that I had a national show that 9 people listened to. And also, we've just been buddies this whole time, right?
And the guy who hired us and put us in the same room with my buddy Raheel that I do no layups with is Chance McClain. Chance McClain, if he does something, is going to be great. Outside of hiring me, everything he's done has been great. From starting 1560 to being the program director at 610 to doing Hollywood movies to doing red carpet shows to Broadway musicals. He's done it all. And in the last 5 years, he is focused on people's stories. And that's why he started Heritage Films. They'll do your documentary, your dad's documentary, your mom's documentary, your grandpa's documentary, even that creepy uncle of yours documentary. He can do it all, family business, family ranch, and he'll do it in a first-class 2-hour form, just like a Netflix documentary. Check out the website, yourheritagefilm.com. Yourheritagefilm.com, or call them up, 713-893-8341, 713-893-8341.
So Matt says a classic David L. with my fake version of Lethal Weapon. What else have I had an L on movies? I don't watch a lot. Like I haven't watched. I said it wasn't going to be about movies. I apologize, but I came up with a couple things I want to talk about. So just hold your horses, people. So Trey and Shiner said a little known fact: Richard Gere was originally cast as McClane, but eventually turned it down. No way it would have been as good. I like Richard Gere, I think, but it would have been terrible. He also almost turned down Pretty Woman. You've seen Pretty Woman for sure.
What's her name?
Julia Roberts.
Yes.
A movie
She's
about
beautiful.
a prostitute that we all, she falls in love. It happens. Some other fast facts. John Travolta was the studio's top choice to play Forrest Gump. That would have been a disaster. That would have been horrible. Indiana Jones stunt double Harrison Ford was not the first choice to wear the fedora. Tom Selleck originally cast as Indiana Jones.
Not awful.
Not
But-
good.
Not awful, but not great.
Will Smith famously turned down the role of Neo in The Matrix.
Oh.
Do you watch The Matrix? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Isn't it like a guy with glasses and he
Yes.
kind of wears like a long cape?
Yes.
Yeah, like bits and parts. I
Yeah,
think
he
I
falls in love with his mentor.
Yeah.
What's the actor? Lawrence Fishburne. Anyway, apparently Cary Grant was supposed to be James Bond. Interesting. Anyway, Reese Nygren, you came up with a good topic. Or actually, I think Nick came up with a good topic for you.
Yeah, Nick actually came up with it as he just told me that I can take credit for it. But I wanted to get our predictions on who we think will be the top 5 in 25 and 25.
Well, I think this segment's going to be really short because I've already done it. I haven't turned in my list, so I could change it. And I don't want to tell the people what my list is, so I'm going to, I'll give you some maybes. Okay? I'll give you some people that I'm considering. But Nygren, Munson, do you have an idea of you probably haven't thought this through yet, have you?
No.
I'll give you a second to think it through. Nygren, tell me some people. I don't want you to for sure. Okay, if you want to tell me your top 5, tell me your top 5. I don't care.
I'm a small part of the vote, but my top 5 in order is Mario Craver at number 1, Marcel Reed at number 2, DJ Hicks at number 3, Dalton Brooks at 4, and Isaiah Horton at 5.
Okay. I think it's a really good, solid list. Almost similar to mine, but not. Okay. I think that's really good.
I've gotten my top 10 filled out.
All right, just give me your 10. I don't care.
Number 6, Des Ricks. Number 7, Marcus Ratcliffe. Number 8, Anto Saka. Number 9, Mark Naboo. And number 10, Damian Sanford.
Okay. And I just want to ask a couple questions because I don't know if I processed all that information. Did ABR make that list?
He's number 11.
Okay. Did Jamarian Morrow make that list?
He did not.
Okay. Okay. I'm going to just give you a little bit of my top 10 thinking. I could be wrong. I've been working on it. I did like an initial list. Then I kind of played with it a little bit. Then I tried to go back and remember my notes from spring ball, who's playing where, who's getting some more opportunities. But did anybody on the offensive line make your, yes, you said Mark Naboo, right?
Yeah, Mark Naboo made it at number 9.
Okay. So first off, I think your top, I'm not going to say exactly, but I do believe Mario Craver has to be very high on everybody's list. I also believe that Marcel Reed has to be very high on everybody's list. I'm not saying they're my 1 and 2. I'm just saying that they have to be very high from an offensive perspective. I believe, and I don't think I heard it, I could be wrong, Damian Sanford should be very high on that list. Was Sanford on your list?
He was number 10.
Okay. I would have him higher. I don't know where, but I would have him higher. I think DJ Hicks absolutely should be high on that list. I think Anto Saka has got to be high on that list. I hope Reuben Owens is high on that list. Did you say Reuben?
I did not say Reuben Owens, but he will.
Your mic died. Thanks.
I'm sorry. I think it's hard for me to put Anto Saka just because I haven't really seen a lot of him. But
you have to see it with your own eyes.
I have to see it with my own 2 eyes, Anto Saka. But the things I've heard about him are really good.
Yeah, that's what makes for instance, I typically in the past don't do a lot of freshmen on my 25 because I don't have enough body of work at this level to make an educated assessment based on the limited practice I've been able to watch a lot of times when they're doing spring balls during the show. But I think Aaron Gregory could absolutely be one of your top 25 players, right? I don't know if he will be. Again, I typically do not pick freshmen often. I'm sure I have to go back and look. And a lot of times I don't pick special teamers. It's just been kind of my philosophy. And I should. Like, last year would have been really nice to have, one of your 25 best players be your kicker. That would have been great. Maybe the season feels different. Or maybe it doesn't. But David Olano, does he make people's 25 based on what he's done at a prior stop, right? So, and the reason we're talking about it now is we just posted a little while ago our 25 and 25 voting on the premium board. So if you're a TexAgs premium subscriber, you can do it and get your vote in. But it's these lists are always difficult because we're projecting and we don't have the benefit of development. I do think OB and I need to probably look back. We always say this and we never do because we never want to show how wrong we are. But we probably do need to look at like last year's 25 and 25. So, all right. So is there somebody, Nygren, that you almost put in your top 10 that's just right outside because you just need to see a little bit more?
I think Jamarian Morrow is that guy. I just need to see a little more from him. I trust the potential is there. We saw glimpses of it last year, but I just can't quite put him in my top 10. ABR, I've seen enough from ABR, but it's just so hard to fit him into the top.
Well, if your potential third receiver is in your top 10 and your three best players are wide receivers, that's not a bad problem, by the way.
No, that's a pretty good problem.
That's a good problem to have. But like, does that mean if you had to only limit it to 2 per position, which I think I have a rule like that. I need to go back. I kind of made my own criteria.
Bad rule.
But I mean, you're trying to spotlight the team, right? So if you could only have 2, what does that mean about some of the players right around it? Yeah, he's just as good. I've just seen more from ABR. So I think Morrow's an excellent one. Marco Jones is another name that I think is probably going to come up high based on potential, not what we've seen, right? We've seen a lot from him. Noah McKell, a lot of potential there. Probably going to play a lot more football this year. He's somebody. Ray Coney, another linebacker. I feel like it's the linebacker radio show. But Ray Coney is a guy that did it elsewhere, Tulsa. But how does his game translate to here? What other players? Tawfiq Byard. What was that? Tawfiq Byard. I think he could be. Ricky Gibson could end up being that dude. Like, he didn't play last season. We had Des Ricks in your top 10, right?
Yeah, he was in there. He was up at number 6, so just outside my top 5.
I'm not going to put a 4th wide receiver, but Terry Bussey has the ability to be on everybody's 25 if he just takes a step.
Just
right?
classify him as a return man. Then you don't have a 4th receiver.
Or just a football player, right?
That too.
So these are all interesting conversations to have. The linemen, like, I hope you have 3, 4, 5 offensive linemen in your top 25. I hope Wilkin Formby is that dude. Tyree Adams is that dude. Some of the younger players, Lamont Rogers, does he sneak in? I say sneak in. It would be a sneak into the audience, but does he have an opportunity to get in that? And Robbie Bourdon, does he sneak in for some people? So
what about Isaiah Horton?
He should absolutely be in your top 10. I think he was number...
He's my 5.
Yeah, he's your 5.
I think, real quick, just going back to Olano, just based on the sheer fact of the 25 players, that's if you take every starter on offense, every starter on defense, you still have 3 spots left over. So I think by default, David Olano will make it, even though on mine, he'll make it just...
So Matthew's very controversial today. He says David Olano at 13, argue with a wall. I didn't have him at 13. So...
Matthew's putting him at 13.
Oh, he's putting him at 13. Okay.
Yes.
If he is your 13th best player, I hope he's hitting 70-yard field goals.
I agree.
All right. Did you want to give me, before we had to break, your top 5? Or
I can.
Do you have it?
Mm-hmm.
Let's go.
Marcel Reed at number 1. Mario Craver at number 2. Dalton Brooks at number 3. Ruben Owens at number 4. And ABR at number 5.
All right. All wide receiver you. Let's go. Woo! Oh, did you have 2 or 3 wide receivers there in your 5?
I think 2.
2. Okay. And Isaiah Horton right outside of that. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. You give the tie to the player who's been here longer.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Let's talk about Paragon Financial. When you're looking for real peace of mind when it comes to your money, check out Aggie-owned Paragon Financial Advisors. They're an independent fiduciary serving clients all across Texas. No sales pitches, no commissions, just honest financial planning and investment management. And what sets them apart is the over 9 CFPs, the CFA, and the CPA all on staff. They take their credentials seriously, and they work tirelessly to help you build a future that you can feel good about. Go to paragon-adv.com or give them a call, 979-693-3907, to schedule your free consultation today. It's Paragon Financial Advisors, integrity, expertise, and trust. Paragon Financial Advisors.
Everyone, David Nuno here for Allen Honda. Had a great conversation with them earlier today. John Allen's the owner. He's been here forever. And also their GM, Rusty Skinner, great guy. Wonderful conversation. They're super local. They're a family-owned dealership, not some massive auto group. And they treat their customers like family because they basically are family. They're Aggie alums. They love Aggie sports, and they've been serving the Brazos Valley with integrity, with passion, and commitment to excellence for over 50 years, which is very rare, by the way, for the independents because people trust them. And that's why they've been doing it for such a long time. Whether you're looking to buy, lease, or service your vehicle, you can count on them for transparent, no pressure experience that puts your needs first. And I can attest to it. Had a great conversation about my own situation with them. Their knowledgeable sales team will help you find the perfect Honda to fit your lifestyle, from fuel-efficient sedans to versatile SUVs. Leasing options are flexible and affordable, making it easy to drive the latest models with confidence. And when it comes to service, their certified technicians only use genuine Honda parts to keep your vehicle running at its best, whether it's routine maintenance, for major repairs, or whatever it may be. And we know that trust isn't given, it is earned, and that's why generations of local drivers right here in the Brazos Valley and Bryan College Station keep coming back to Allen Honda. As part of the community with Aggie spirit in their hearts, they are here to make everyone's visit wonderful. So visit their showroom or their service lane and find friendly, efficient, and memorable situations when you go to Allen Honda. Come see why so many College Station and Bryan drivers choose Allen Honda for their automotive needs, and remember, gig 'em. Six minutes from the GOAT, Jason Howell, recruiting analyst, here on TexAgs Live. We'll chit-chat with him. That's brought to you by America Momentum Bank. But we just found out some great information. Exclusive interview coming to TexAgs.com today. Ashley Munson, you want to tell the people what's going to happen?
There's an exclusive interview with Clayton Freshcorn coming out later today.
And why is that a big deal, Munson?
Because he chose A&M over going to Pro, yeah, which
Over
is pretty
the Cardinals.
big.
Yeah. So, and he could be your, I don't know, I should probably ask Bronny. Friday starter? Saturday starter? I don't know.
I think it's between him and Aiden Sims for who gets that Friday start.
We got a long way. Baseball season just ended, right? So we got a long way to figure that out. And you have I don't know if you've noticed, I haven't brought up World Cup as much this week because, I don't know, U.S. lost, Ronaldo lost, who else lost? France lost yesterday. Argentina's going to definitely win it again, it feels like. But what match do we have today?
England and Argentina taking place in Atlanta today at 2:30 p.m.
Jude Bellingham trying to get that golden boot, Nigel. You been paying attention?
I have been paying attention. Kevin Boppy lost yesterday, but
Kevin Boppy?
Yeah, Kevin Boppy lost. He
is that
couldn't
a B
play in
team
MLS
joke?
if he wanted to anyway, so who cares?
Is that a B team joke? Kevin Boppy? I'm sorry, I'm not familiar.
No, it's not. It's a young people joke.
Kylian Mbappe did lose yesterday. France looked horrendous. Spain has not given up a goal the entire World Cup. Will they give one up in the final? That's the only way they lose. All right, when we come back, Jason Howell talking about recruiting on Recruiting Country. We'll talk to him, talk about the newest commit, Makai Allen, and much, much more. You're listening to the world-famous TexAgs Live.
Welcome back into TexAgs Live. We are presented by David Gardner Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. Time for Recruiting Country, brought to you by American Momentum Bank, the only privately owned bank headquartered in Bryan College Station. They're committed to helping our community prosper by offering you a wide array of both personal and business banking solutions specifically designed to help build financial success with confidence and momentum on your side. All right, we go to the and bartending hotline. My headphone keeps coming out for some reason. We talked to Jason Howell. What's up, man?
Oh, same old stuff, man. Same old stuff. Getting ready. Tomorrow, I get to go to New York City, see my stepdaughter up there. And so going to be in town through Sunday. So I'm pretty excited. Get to soak in a little of that World Cup Finals atmosphere.
So you go to New York, what, once or twice a year, I feel like? I feel like you've mentioned that before.
Yeah, we try and get up there a few times and, hang out and love the city. And, it's a good time.
What do the Howells do when they go to New York?
We typically go to a Broadway show. We do a lot of eating and drinking around the city. Gotta have the local cuisine or whatever. And we don't really have like a restaurant that we have to go to. It's more we're just, I think this time we're going to do a dumpling crawl in Chinatown.
That sounds fun.
Yeah. So we just kind of try not to plan it too much and stay in the city and just stay out all day, just kind of moving and shaking, if you will.
All right, let's get to recruiting. We got some business to get to. Mekhi Allen, the most recent commit. Let's start off with that story. Don Bosco Prep, another Jersey kid.
Yeah, and Coach Sabella was talking about how, they don't really have a lot of guys that start as freshmen on varsity, and him and Chase are two that definitely have. And Mekhi's story is a really unique one on the football field. He jumped right in as a freshman where he played safety, and he's one of their better kickoff returners. And one of the big highlights on his freshman tape is him taking a kickoff return 100 yards to the house. So he's a uniquely gifted athlete. He's played every single level of the defense. He's when I talked to Coach Sabella about his, Chase was known for his weight room mentality. I think he lifted, every single weight that they have at Don Bosco and set every single record that they have out there as far as explosion and pure power. And he said, Mekhi is one of those, he's a locker room guy. He's one of those guys that the team rallies around, and he's a magnet for other teammates. And it really, when you compare that with what he brings physically and mentally and just his attitude, you got to love what you're getting in a linebacker. I think he checked in. We've been listing him at 220. I think he checked in last at right around 230 pounds. And you see him. He's built like a block, and he brings a versatility to the position where you're not going to have to sub him out. He's got that athleticism where you can do so many different things, and an offense isn't going to necessarily know what's coming when you got a Mekhi Allen on the field, especially when you pair him with the guys that they also have in this class.
Jason, let's talk about what they've done at linebacker, not just this year, although, obviously there's still some time to go, but what they've been able to secure so far this year, and you could look at what they've done the last couple of years.
Yeah, well, this group, you really have to love it. Caden Henderson is a little bit different. Maybe you give the edge to him as far as maybe a little bit more dynamic, but very similar in that he can play anywhere you want at linebacker. You can bring him off the edge. You can blitz him, right up the gut. You can drop him into coverage. He can stick with anybody. Him and Mackay are definitely like that. Aston is a high upside athlete with NFL pedigree and high end athleticism. And yeah, he's got that a little smaller than those other guys, but he's got the frame to build on and be that guy that can be kind of a safety, weak side linebacker combination kind of guy. And then, yeah, when you compare it with what they've done the last couple years, from Noah McHale and to guys, like you had last year. You had a 4-man group that, again, just a really solid group of guys, bunch of 4-star guys, and you've got a very well-rounded room. I know Mackay Allen talked about how much he loved the room that Coach Travis Williams works with, and just the blend of talent there. And when you've got leaders like Damian Sanford and the like out there doing some heavy lifting, setting that tone, you've got to like what you're getting. Now, I want to say, Caden and Mackay they're Caden's that 5-star linebacker A&M's really been looking for a long time, and Mackay is right there in that Noah McHale range as a top 150, 200 guy that is just a national recruit that a lot of people wanted, and it's that linebacker room. People are going to stop asking, does he play linebacker now around the message board, because A&M's building something pretty special there, and I think you have to give credit to Coach Elko and the staff for really prioritizing it and then developing. I mean, Damian is a key right there. I mean, he wasn't the guy that he was a high upside guy. He was a lot like Aston Whiteside, and when he signed, and to see his development and growth into what happened last year, and the leader he's become on the team, and I think that's an attractive thing for a lot of recruits out there. What Torian York did in his development, as also coming in and being a stud player, I think that's helped A&M elevate their linebacker recruiting.
Jason, I talked a little bit about this with Billy, but Jersey's been a good place, or just the tri-state area has been good for A&M. And it's not just that area. Obviously, they've done great in the state of Florida. They've done really well even in California. They've become a global recruiting machine now through 2 coaches. But just talk about their ability to go into the upper Northeast and still continue to get quality players.
Yeah, and I want to say, before Jimbo Fisher arrived in 2018, I don't think, I don't remember A&M really being much of a factor for New Jersey specifically. I remember that when he arrived, they were in on a tight end, Matt Alamo, and at the end of that 2018 cycle, where they were really churning and burning and bringing guys in. He ended up going somewhere else, but that's the first one I really remember them getting after. I know Elijah Robinson, he's played a huge role in elevating the presence there in the New Jersey, Philly, New York City area. You saw them really break through in the 2020 class with Fidel Diggs and Isaiah Rakes, and of course Chase in 23. And since, it's like every other year you're seeing them get a guy. They're actively involved in several recruitments. I know in the 28 class, receiver Mekhi Parker is a guy to put on your list. He visited in the summertime, and really was blown away by what he saw. But one of the top receivers in the Northeast out there at Glassboro. But you've seen him go in, Miles O'Neill, Jermaine Kinsler last class, and of course now you got Mackay out there, and they're going into big programs, Bergen Catholic, Don Bosco, those areas that are rich with talent, and year in, year out, they're producing elite prospects. Not only that go to A&M, but go to other SEC programs, Big Ten schools, top 10 programs across the country. And, they tend to have those guys from programs like Don Bosco or Bergen Catholic. They tend to be those culture guys as well. Like those guys are going to put their head down, go to work. They're used to winning. They're used to grinding. They're used to it not being easy, and they love it. They love going to work. They love that blue collar mentality, that hard hat mentality, and you see it. A&M has done a lot of great work in those trenches and in those blue collar positions like linebacker. So I think it's definitely something that's elevated since, I'd say, 2018 was when you first really started to feel that presence. But it's Elijah Robinson and the crew. Mike Elko obviously has some big time connections up there in the Northeast, and that's been key. And I think that culture that they bring down helps establish a strong culture at A&M.
Jason, this class has come together so fast, and I'm sure there are reasons, maybe just in the state of college athletics right now. But why do you think this A&M class has come together so quickly?
Well, and it's quicker than any. I said it in my Through Things on Friday. This is the quickest we've seen a recruiting class come together for Texas A&M. You're watching Landon Williams-Callis out there running back, but other than that, you may have some guys that they're watching to see how they develop. But they're pretty much done. And you may see some guys when the coaching carousel kicks up towards the end of the fall, where A&M gets back in on, or some of those continued conversations start to pay off. But for the most part, it's done. And I think a lot of it has to do, like you said, you've had the rules change where you have spring and summer official visits, and the transfer portal. And I think that those two things really combine to speed up the process, specifically the spring and summer official visits. It's just so much easier for these guys to come in and visit during the spring when they're not trying to play games. And there's value to those. I think the coaches love having those guys in when they're not trying to plan and have a big recruiting weekend the same time they're having a big important game that they must win. And I think that all comes together to help that make guys feel more comfortable making that decision. And of course, the transfer portal and NIL, I think all goes a long way. And we've seen it the last few cycles. 26 cycle came together really quick as well. I think by the end of July, you pretty much had your class, and even going back to the 24 class where it was a transition class with Elko and all that. But I mean, you had a large number of guys committed by September. You had Terry Bussey committed at the end of September. That was a big target. Once the season started, and you had some other guys out there, but for the most part, you had most of your class ready to go, and we've seen it starting to speed up every year. This is, I think, next year, this 28 class, once you get those guys committed and kind of locked in, it does allow you to spend more time on the next class. So in this case, the 28th. So the more time you're spending there, you're developing those relationships. Those guys are coming in the fall. Those guys are going to be, have taken multiple visits by the time spring rolls around next year. And I got a feeling that cycle is just going to continue to speed up a little bit each and every year.
Jason, as I'm talking to you, I'm over here wondering, how many states are represented in this class? Because we talked about Jersey. I brought up some other states, but like if you were to like they do for election coverage, they have all the states that are going red or blue. Like how many states are going maroon?
Well, I have 10 by my count. You've got, of course, Texas. You got Florida, Georgia, Maryland, New Jersey up there in the Northeast, California and Nevada over on the West. And then you got Michigan, Ohio, and Indiana all there in the Midwest. So you've attacked just about every region in the country. Maybe go up to Oregon or Washington, hit the Pacific Northwest or something. But shoot, you even got Australia in the fold over there. So you've gone international. You've hit all over the country, all over the map, and you still have the biggest portion of your class coming from the state of Texas.
All right, we'll hit a break here. We'll come back more with Jason Howell on Recruiting Country, brought to you by American Momentum Bank. Shout out to our good friends at Bubba's 33. Man, all they do is like great events for others. They do. You can join them. It started yesterday, but today as well, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. and 6 to 8 p.m. for their Tip a Veteran event. So volunteers from the Earl Graham American Legion Post 159 will be visiting with guests and sharing how together they are raising funds for Home for Our Troops, a national nonprofit that builds and donates specifically adapted homes for severely injured post 9/11 veterans. Stop by for a great meal, meet with their local veterans, and help support an incredible cause. Every donation makes a difference. We hope to see you there. And remember, the food at Bubba's is fantastic. Burgers, great. The wings, great. The people, great. Go say hi to the whole crew there. I'll get in trouble for missing people, but Maddox is definitely there. He used to work on TexAgs. Say hi to Maddox, Shelby, Jessica, you name it. It's Bubba's 33. Hey everybody, David Nuno here, TexAgs Live, here with Sheldon and Danny Shelley of Aggieland Hydration. Sheldon, I want to start off with you. What is Aggieland Hydration and who do you serve?
So we're a mobile IV company. We serve the Bryan College Station area, and we are licensed under our medical director to work anywhere in the state of Texas, but given the name, we're focused on the Bryan College Station area.
Danny, how do appointments work?
So when a client calls in, they can call into our main line, or we have an online booking process. We get a quick little bit of information, name, date of birth, the address of where we're going to go, kind of what's going on. We give that information over to our nurse, and usually they can arrive within 30 minutes to an hour.
Danny, who's this geared towards? Is it more for like sick people, athletes, people who've been partying? Who is this for?
All the above.
Okay.
And it just really depends on what you're getting after. Sheldon travels a lot, so I give him an IV once a week. Some people get it just as needed, like when they're sick or if they've been working, in the yard all weekend, if they just had a big workout, stuff like that.
And all right, Sheldon, help me out. Why do I not just drink a bunch of water or juice? Like, why go the IV route?
Yeah, so drinking water orally, you don't absorb it all. So getting a liter of fluids into your bloodstream directly, you feel the results better. And it's equivalent to drinking about almost 2.5 gallons of water.
All right, that's Aggieland Hydration. How do people check you out?
They can go to our website at aggielandhydrationandinjectables.com.
Or you can call them up at 979-217-1561. It is Aggieland Hydration. I wish I had Olin here for it because he loves energy drinks. Catalyst Citrus Spark. This is one of the new flavors out there. Whether you're grinding through workouts, cramming for a test, or closing in on a deal or getting ready for TexAgs Live, you never know, right? Fast becoming the go-to fuel for Aggies everywhere. Zero sugar. I'm all in for that. Or synthetic sweeteners, no artificial colors or flavors. Catalyst delivers clean, high-performance energy with smooth, crisp taste that is never syrupy, designed for both health and hustle. You want to get going, you use this Catalyst right here. It's about pure energy and pure results. And what sets them apart? Packed with premium nootropics blended to boost focus, clarity, and mental stamina. I need this. I'm in, guys. I'm in. Plus, with plant-based caffeine, vitamin B12, B6, Catalyst supports metabolism and energy production, making it more than a drink. is your lifestyle training partner. Built for competitors on the field, Catalyst fuels strength, focus, and pure results. Buy now at drinkcatalyst.com. That is drinkcatalyst.com. Train harder, think sharper, pure results. It's Catalyst. Here on TexAgs Live, we're presented by David Gardner's Jewelers Rollo Insurance Studio. Recruiting Country brought to you by American Momentum Bank. We've got Jason Howell here. So, Jason, we've been going back and forth on what the year or the commitment class has been looking like for the Ags. So, when you guys start updating your rankings, what's going into where we are right now with a lack of, how much of it is what they did last season and how much of it is projection?
You definitely have to put a lot of projection into it, but really what you're going on is what you've gathered in the camp season, seeing these guys move around, and by camp season, I'm talking. I think our last update was right before spring practice for a lot of these guys. So a lot of that 27, 28 class we got to see in the spring. We got to see a lot of those underclassmen, especially in that camp season there in June. And so, watching them compete and go against like competition and things like that. And of course, you see new guys, and, if you haven't really study that player, you go back and you watch the tape and see what they did. And if there's not a lot there, you ask why. Was he buried behind somebody else? Is he transitioning to a new position? Or sometimes it's just somebody you didn't know about that's new to your radar who had a big season last year and has shown it and deserves that bump. And so I think those are some of the things, but everything, especially if it's a new guy that we're learning about, it all goes back to, okay, let's see what they did on tape last year, and then bringing it forward with what we saw at camp and how that ends up projecting to the college and beyond.
Jason, you guys are also expanding your list on the 28s.
Yes, we went ahead and bumped our list from 25 to 50 this time around. Again, we put together the watch list, right? and then when it comes to putting them in order, it's kind of hard. So we pare it down to those guys we feel super comfortable with, and those are guys that we've seen, we've seen multiple times and evaluated in person to a large degree, and that list of names has grown. We got to, like I said, we got to see a lot of guys in spring and in summer. So we just feel a little bit more comfortable. You see things kind of solidify with some of those top guys. And so we bumped, we went from 15 4-stars to 20. And I feel really good about this 28 group. There's some really intriguing talents in there. Armani Edwards and Jay Knight Storm at offensive tackle are a couple to really keep an eye on there as far as kind of the top upper echelon guys and at offensive tackle. You've got the Taylor twins from Keller Central, who just completely took over the state 7-on-7 tournament and claim that championship for a Keller Central program that's had some talent over the years, but typically, hasn't had a winning tradition. And so they went out there, they played both sides of the ball, and they've had a big offseason on the track as well. So we try and take those kind of numbers into account as we do our evaluations as well. So they've really emerged as more defensive prospects, but Isaiah plays quarterback. Jeremiah is a receiver, and then they both are outstanding in the secondary, where they can both play anywhere from any position back there, safety, corner, nickel, whatever you need. Those guys, those are a couple high risers. Ian Thomas, you may remember his father, A&M WR Rodney. There, he is. He's one of the top running backs. He makes his debut in the 28 top 20. One of the top running backs in the country out of Tomball, Texas. There's the offensive line group, a lot of depth. There's some really intriguing linebackers out there. And A&M's very involved already. I think there's over 30 offers out there in the class in that top 50. So A&M's already getting after a lot of those guys, and a lot to watch out there.
Jason, just what are some things to watch out for? Maybe in the next couple of weeks, maybe in the next month, maybe in the next, by the end of summer. What is something you think we need to have our attention on?
Yeah, I mean, like we mentioned, keep an eye on that 28 class. Quarterback dominoes are already falling. Donald Tabron has talked about making a summertime decision, and he's definitely a guy who I'd keep on the radar. A&M's very well situated there with tons of competition. USC, Ohio State. One of the top quarterbacks in the country from Detroit, Michigan. So, but you've got a lot of guys. The dominoes start to fall. I think last year we saw Jace Johnson and Demarion Johnson both commit in August, and you've already got a big time edge rusher committed in that 28 class and Chance Archangel. So definitely keep an eye on that 28 class as the momentum starts to build there. It's almost football season, so we're going to be previewing some high school games before we know it too.
Yeah, when's the first week of high school football? It's usually the first week of the high school season? Or calendar, I should say. Yeah, obviously.
It's usually at the end of August.
Yeah.
And some states it gets started a little sooner. Georgia, I think right around mid-August, you'll start to see those games being played that really mean something. And it gets rolling in a hurry. And we'll be out, covering all that stuff as the games get played.
Jason, fantastic work as always, man. I appreciate your time.
Anytime. Thank you.
Thank you. That's Jason Howell there on the Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. We're going to hit a break. We'll talk to Ricky Seals-Jones on the other side. I usually give Dave and Edmund a hard time. I always give him a hard time. He actually had a funny today. He wants to know my movie take or my reenactment, if you will, of A Few Good Men. I'm not going to do that one. I think the title alone would make it awkward. So we're just going to let that one just go. And but that one I just watched A Few Good Men the other day. So we can. Have you ever seen it?
Let me look it up.
Okay, no, you're out. You're out. When we come back, RSJ here on TexAgs Live on the Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. All right, we're back. TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance City. Our next guest was one of the most dynamic athletes we've seen here at Texas A&M. Five-star recruit out of Sealy, Ricky Seals-Jones, joining the program. It was about a year ago he came to the studio and hung out with us. What's up, Ricky?
What up? What up? Thank y'all for having me. Appreciate it.
Thank you, man. So catch us up. I know that you're always moving and shaking. Are you doing real estate now? Is that what I saw?
I am. I'm doing real estate out in the Houston area. I work for Renee Stroller Properties. I'm out in 610 San Felipe, so I'm doing a Galleria, River Oaks area. I'm loving it.
Man, you got the clientele. River Oaks?
What? I'm getting all the Aggies. I'm taking over, man. I'm trying to get all the Aggies that's in Houston, so you know how that goes.
That's fantastic. Yeah, so first off, it's funny you say that because I always tell people, when you were in college, do you remember that shirt, how you can tell an Aggie, 5 years out of college, he's the boss? Like that's, so basically, if you're running a company and you're living in River Oaks, you're probably an Aggie, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Hey,
100%.
So catch me up on life. What's up with the fam? What's up with everything?
Everything's good. Kids are good. Kids are growing. Son's in football. My girls are, they're ripping and running, giving me gray hairs early. And then, it's life. I'm ready for football season.
Heck yeah, man. So let's look at this year's team, and then maybe we'll look back a little bit at your career. Based on what you saw from last year, all right, what Coach Eckel was able to establish in year two in the 11-2 season, 11-1 regular season, where are your expectations for this year, considering 10 guys went to the draft? So this is going to be kind of a new roster.
I have faith. I think what he showed last year is that he can come in and recruit and get guys out of the portal and kind of just do his thing. So I'm excited. I have my faith in him. I know that he has a plan, and I think the guys that are coming in, if you just abide by it, it'll work out. Like, look at how wanted to leave, ended up staying, and went first round. So, it's one of those things where if you just come in and do what you need to do and kind of ride the wave and just, adapt to what he wants to do, it's going to work out.
Nate Borkature was a guy that came to A&M last year as kind of known as a blocker. This dude went in the second round of the draft, had one of the biggest catches in Aggie football history. What would you like to see from this year? There's a new group of tight ends this year. What would you like to see from this group of tight ends in 2026?
Oh, that's a good one. Honestly, just smash mouth. I like the physicality of our tight ends. Just them being a great team. Great team leaders, honestly. Getting guys up, making them go, making the offense go, picking each other up. Obviously being a tight end, you're like the second hand of a quarterback. You have to know the run game, pass game. So you have to be a leader out there. You have to sometimes motivate the offensive line, motivate the receivers if they drop a pass, even motivate the running back. So, that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at it. It's the tight end is going to be, that second guy to the quarterback of motivating the team to get them going.
And what about Marcel specifically? What did you think of his 2025 season? What would you like to see from him in 26?
I think he had a great year. I would love to see, more down. I would love to see him stay in the pocket and kind of deliver those medium passes. I think if he does that, I think we can go a long ways because he has the legs. We all know he can run, he can scramble, he can get out the pocket and do his thing. But, sometimes, just him sitting in the pocket and letting his receivers and tight end do their thing or, dump it down to the back, that might be, I think that's his next, hump, getting over that hump.
When you look at the rest of the SEC, is there a team that scares you? Or is there a team that's maybe a little overrated? Or are you still kind of with the way college sports are right now? There's such change in rosters. We won't know until we know.
Yeah, I think we won't know till we know. And I also think we're like the dark horse. Even though we were, we went to the playoffs last year, a lot of teams are sleeping on us, and I think that we're one of those teams where, like you said, you won't know till you know. And I think that when we come out, once we get rolling, I think we're going to be unstoppable.
Yeah. When you think back about your time at A&M, what's maybe your best memory, your favorite moment, your best time at A&M?
I know last time I was on the show, I said run out the tunnel. I'm gonna say one of my best times was going out to South Carolina and upsetting them. Yeah, that was one of my best memories. That was the first time I heard they were playing at Sandstorm with the white towels and going on the road and the atmosphere was crazy. And going up there and upsetting them and putting on a clinic, I think that was one of my biggest memories.
Ricky, I'm glad you brought up South Carolina because they're a team this year that I worry about a tad bit, not because of their record, but I worry about a couple things. The last 2 times A&M has gone to South Carolina, they have lost. Both times A&M was favored. Lenore Sellers is their QB, and he's a dynamic quarterback. But that atmosphere that you talked about, like it seems to not matter what the record is. That place gets behind their team, and if they got a chance in the fourth quarter, they're going to seize it.
Yeah, they are. You're right, and that's pretty much every SEC team. It's like no matter if their team's down and out, that the atmosphere is crazy. And then if you give them that short window in the fourth quarter where to give that stadium any breathing room, any light, it's just kind of ignite them. So I think if we go, I think if we take care of business like we should, I think we'll be all right. I think Elko is going to have those guys ready to play. And what I've learned from last year is that, once we got our foot on our necks, we're not letting up. And I think this is the step we're going to take this year to where, we're gonna shock a lot of people.
Yeah, you feel good about this team?
I do, I really do. Like, I feel like that year 3 hump, man, he had a full year to kind of bring his guys in, recruiting, the portal. I just feel like, we kind of, it's a dark horse. Like, we're not really getting talked about. It's real quiet. I think it's just a calm before the storm.
Ricky, earlier you were talking about tight end being that extra leader, that guy. Who in your era was like that extra leader that spoke up? Was it you? Was it somebody else? Who was that guy that really helped motivate beyond QB, maybe beyond the elite defensive player? Who would it have been?
Oh, we had a lot. I guess when I was there, I was one of them. We had Josh Reynolds. We had Trey Carson, Travion Williams. All the receiver group, honestly. Damian Ratley. Just a lot. Like, for us, when I was there, we kind of all took on that role of being a leader because we had a great coach. Aaron Moorhead did a great job of telling us of what it was and being, shooting it to us straight and telling us it's okay to speak up. If you feel a certain type of way or if you're not understanding what we're trying to get at, speak up about it. Don't hold your breath. So we had a good relationship with our coaches to be able to, talk it out. So I feel like for us, our receiver room, we had that good communication to be able to speak up whenever we needed to.
Who is maybe the most talented player you played with?
Oh. I would say Kyler.
Yeah, Kyler?
Yeah, Kyler. Kyler was gifted.
Yeah.
Besides Johnny, when I first got there, I'll tell a quick story. I got there my rookie year, and we had summer workouts. And, the old guys came in, Mike, Johnny, Terrell. They all walked in, and we were doing a 7-on-7. Johnny kind of comes in, flip-flops on, takes a snap, rolls out, throws an 80-yard bomb and flip-flops and walks out. And I was like, looking at everybody like, that's what he does. And I was shocked, So besides Johnny, I would say Kyler. Kyler was spectacular too.
Yeah, how much did it hurt to see him go elsewhere?
Oh, I was sick. I think we tried to do everything we could to keep him here. And, it just didn't work out.
Well, luckily Trevor came and he did a great job.
Did a great job.
He did, man. But it's interesting. And can you imagine your era with all the transfer stuff that's happening now, not having to sit out, how crazy it could have been?
Oh man. Yeah, it would have been very crazy. So I'm glad that I'm not in this era. it's just too much. I'm not a big fan of the NIL. They gotta put a lid on it. I think it's getting out of hand.
Yeah, but if you agree with it or not, you better play the game while it's here, right?
You have to. You have to. Or you're gonna get left behind.
I don't know if you've noticed, but Clemson is getting left behind partially because they're not playing the game. I think they're playing the NIL game, but they're not all in when it comes to transfer portal.
No, you have to be all in. You can't be And Dabo, like you said, you're getting left behind, and it shows.
Yeah. All right. So, do you feel like we've got everything in place for this to be a sustainable project? Texas A&M has always been, when you were here and after, like one really good year followed by a couple of down years or lean years, right? Do you think we're now at a point, 3 out of 4 years, we're knocking on the door, or if not of the playoffs or in the playoffs?
I think so. I think this is a year that we kind of put it all together, 4 phases, offense, defense, special teams, and I think this is a year where if one group is slacking, the other group can pick it up. I truly believe that. So, I mean, we can say that, but we have to just see. And I truly believe that Elko has them in the right direction with the whole staff and everyone. So, yeah, I'm excited, man. I can't wait to get down there to Aggieland. I know it's gonna be an exciting year. We got three home games to pop off the season. Like, what more can you ask for? So, I think we're gonna shock a lot of people this year.
Ricky, where did the freaking time go, man? I met you in 2012 as a high school player, and now you're a grown man with 3 kids, and I'm almost 50. Like, where did the time go?
It goes, man. It goes quick, and you just gotta strap on and enjoy the ride. And but no, it's been a phenomenal ride. I've enjoyed my college experience. The people I've met at A&M has been tremendous, and then even my life now, living out in Houston and doing the real estate, still meeting Aggies. It's been wonderful.
Ricky, great catching up with you, man. Can't wait to see you again here in studio. We'll chat soon, all right?
All right, my man. Thank y'all again.
See ya.
Have a good one.
You too. Ricky Seals-Jones there on the Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. All right, we'll hit a break. Come back with In Case You Missed It. And apparently they got some good stuff. Well, they always have good stuff, but they got a lot. That's next on TexAgs Live. It's not great to eat yogurt right before you go on the air. You got all that stuff, like it's never mind, it's sticky. Anyway, in case you missed it, what up, Sid?
How are you?
All right, what's up, Kaylee?
Hello.
We're very casual here on the show.
Yes.
What do you have for me this week?
Okay, so I promise this ties into sports, but the Kentucky Senator Mitch McConnell, he had been MIA since June 14th.
People were speculating he wasn't with us anymore.
Yeah, people thought he had died because no one had seen him or
Since he
heard
went to the
anything
hospital,
from
yep.
him. Yeah. So he had to release a statement and a photo of proof of life. And he said he had a fall, and he released this photo.
Yeah, so you can see in the corner.
Is that okay?
That's Chris Hacopian on the Washington Post newspaper. But everyone thought that picture was AI. They also thought that the newspaper was AI. So everyone was asking Grok. They were trying to figure out if it was or not. But this is the actual Washington Post.
Technically, it could still be AI, but it probably is not AI, right? Like, I think AI can still fake a real newspaper.
Yes, yeah.
Right, you can fake like a jersey, like, don't we do that like sometimes? Like, hey, this team got drafted, boom, you're in the jersey.
They could have taken the real newspaper and just put it on the photo, but...
I'm glad we did this one with me and not during the go hour. What else do we have?
So another topic that we wanted to talk about.
Do you?
No, I don't.
Yeah, I know. I'll tell you after.
Was SEC Media Days. Obviously, each team released the people they were sending yesterday, and one that we thought was interesting was Auburn is sending their kicker, Alex McPherson, and his brother, Evan McPherson, plays for the Bengals.
Yeah.
Just a little tidbit. But Alex has Crohn's disease, and he had to get his entire colon removed.
Oh, my goodness. The entire colon removed?
Yes. So now he kicks with a bag, which is like super interesting. So I can't wait to hear him talk at Media Days.
Sorry, I just saw some breaking news that caught my attention that I want to make sure it's not fake. Somebody just posted that the Astros are trading Lance McCullers.
Yes.
That's real?
They were talking about that.
Oh, that's my guy. That's my buddy. You know who Lance McCullers is? No.
Nope.
Anyway, you were saying Dryer. Sorry.
But that was kind of a sweet story that they're sending him and his, like, how he overcame.
Yeah, that's a good story.
Whatever. And then...
Why'd you go whatever on it? You were going like heartfelt and you're like, whatever, I'm out.
Because it's time to move on now.
Okay.
I think it's interesting that only 9 of 16 SEC teams are sending quarterbacks to Media Days. Auburn, Georgia, Kentucky, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Oklahoma, South Carolina, Texas, and A&M all sending quarterbacks. But I think it's interesting that LSU is not sending Sam Leavitt because most of the schools that aren't sending their quarterbacks, there's a QB battle going on.
All right, so read me these teams again that are or not.
Okay. Auburn, Georgia, Kentucky, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Oklahoma, South Carolina, Texas, and A&M.
Well, let's go through a couple of them. LSU, transfer quarterback is not didn't really participate very much in spring ball because of his Liz Frank injury. I can understand why Sam Leavitt's not there. Alabama, you got 2 guys competing for that spot. Is Vanderbilt? No, Vanderbilt's not on it. They got a freshman, Jared Vanderbilt, that's expected to go.
Same with Florida. They have
Florida as
2
well.
freshmen.
So in this transfer portal era, it may not be that uncommon for yes. I mean, maybe if we have time here in the last 2 minutes, can you Google last year's SEC Media Day representatives? Because all I heard the whole time I was there, A&M didn't bring their starting quarterback.
Right.
That was the big talking point. The entire, hey, what does that mean about A&M? Do they not believe in him? Is he not really the starter? Yada, yada. No, the dude was just busy, and they picked other people. Right? So, whatever. That being said, I don't know. South Carolina, they got Lenore Sellers, obviously. I'm trying to think, what other SEC teams can we throw out just to kind of...
Tennessee is not, but they're also in a
They also
QB
got a
battle.
quarterback.
Yeah,
they got a quarterback battle.
Georgia Tech.
That's... Is Georgia on there? Yeah, they are on there. Okay, so I guess that makes sense. Do you have that by any chance, Munson?
Do you want A&M or just all of the teams?
Well, no. Like, I know A&M didn't take a quarterback. Who took a quarterback who didn't last year?
Sorry, I'm looking at the list on this.
All good.
John Mateer for Oklahoma, QB.
He was a transfer quarterback. They brought him, but they knew he was the guy. And also his offensive coordinator came with him. So okay.
I did. Sorry.
So go ahead.
I just got a message from Callie Garner in the back, and she said 11 teams.
11
Oh,
teams.
yeah. Diego Pavia was on there, too. Arch Manning.
So last year, 11. This year, 10.
Mm-hmm.
And
9.
next year, 9. How did you know I was going to say that?
Okay, one more thing
Okay, fine.
that I'm
trying to
really
take my time with
excited
you
to
guys.
get to.
All right, go.
There is a name renaissance underway in college football, starting off with Prayer Young Black Goat,
What?
Arizona State, Mobility from Rice, Dude Person from Central Arkansas, and King Large from SMU.
We should have led with that.
Yes.
Okay.
This is like all over Twitter.
I like mobility.
I want to talk about it on the rewind. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Oh.